Chapter 1750, Fiendish Demon, 3. If she was discovered, Yi Qingtang would suffer the same terrible fate as Qiu Xi. Qiu Xi was much more powerful than Yi Qingtang. Although she was not that highly ranked in this year's martial arts championship, Yi Qingtang had seen Qiu Xi in battle. Among the top 10, Bailey she was probably the only one who could defeat Qiu Xi. But even the mighty Qiu Xi appeared as weak as an ant in front of those fiendish demons, and ended up a torture victim in their hands. In fact, even a paragon-level practitioner would be useless against the strength and viciousness of these fiendish demons. As she pondered this, Yi Qingtang felt that it was truly a miracle for her to have journeyed thus far into this mountain valley. This valley was completely different from the frozen ice fields. It was like an entirely different world of its own. All those monsters that roamed the frozen ice fields were nowhere to be seen here. Over here. It seemed like only the fiendish demons existed. Yi Qingtang steadied herself. She slowly made her way to the waterfall and gazed down at the blood at her feet. She was feeling very terrible about Qiu Xi's fate but was helpless against it. All the creatures inside this mystic realm were powerful beyond belief. The so-called elite in their central mainland were as insignificant as a bunch of ants, just waiting to be squashed. It had never been more difficult just to stay alive. Just as Yi Qingtang was about to leave, she heard a noise from some undergrowth nearby. She instinctively turned to look. She was completely thunderstruck by what she saw. Behind that undergrowth was the corpse of a fiendish demon. The demon appeared to have died not long ago, as its blood had yet to curdle. Beside the corpse were tiny pieces of minced-up meat. It was human flesh. There was a large quantity of it, spread across the ground. Originally, Yi Qingtang had found it strange why she only saw Qiu Xi, but didn't see any traces of Qiu Chen. Now, Yi Qingtang knew where Qiu Chen was. Yi Qingtang frowned as she looked at the mound of minced meat. Fiendish demons were addicted to torturing and killing humans. Qiu Chen had been their first target, while Qiu Xi was their second. Yi Qingtang took a deep breath. Even though Qiu Chen had already been minced up, she knew his consciousness was still around. Every single bit of flesh was able to feel pain and transmit it to his soul. After being skinned and his flesh sliced off, all that was left of Qiu Chen was a pile of white bones, discarded carelessly amongst some trees at the side. It would not be long before his flesh disintegrated into the soil, and his consciousness relegated to that remaining pile of bones. But most of those bones had already been trampled and crushed. With a soft sigh, Yi Qingtang reached out and picked up all the pieces of bone that she could find. Even so, there were still nearly half of the pieces missing, including his skull. By the end, her hands were stained with blood and she gazed down at them. Qiu Chen and Qiu Xi's terrible fate was like a foreboding premonition to her own. She slowly turned toward the fiendish demon corpse lying by the side. That fiendish demon must have been killed by the earlier two demons. But they were too engrossed in torturing their new playthings and didn't get around to consuming the body yet. An idea suddenly came to Yi Qingtang. Chapter 1751, Camouflage, 1. Yi Qingtang immediately put Little Heavenly Demon and Little White Tiger down and drew out her dagger. Without any hesitation, she peeled off the skin of the dead fiendish demon. Purple blood oozed out of the demon's wounds, bringing with it the unique stench of a fiendish demon. Even so, Yi Qingtang did not turn up her nose at it. She spread the demon blood all over her body. That blood had a rather strange characteristic. It disappeared from her body after some time, but that demon smell remained. Little White Tiger sniffed at her. If it had not seen what Yi Qingtang just did, the smell alone was enough to convince it that she was a fiendish demon. "How is it?" Yi Qingtang asked Little White Tiger. "You smell exactly like a fiendish demon," Little White Tiger answered truthfully. Yi Qingtang heaved a sigh of relief. She got this idea from seeing those demons wearing Qiu Chen and Qiu Xi's skins. Although she had eaten the ore-masking elixir, a fiendish demon's sense of smell was very fine. They would be able to detect her human scent up close. There were countless fiendish demons in this mountain valley, battling one another day after day. It was impossible for Yi Qingtang to pass through this valley without encountering any demons. Since it was unavoidable, the only solution she could think of was to make those fiendish demons think she was one of them. Fiendish demons love to torture and kill humans, as well as wear their skins. In addition, many fiendish demons love to assume the appearance of all sorts of different monsters. As a result, fiendish demons recognize their own kind by scent and not by physical appearance. Yi Qingtang rubbed the fiendish demon blood all over her body. The blood quickly disappeared after coming into contact with her own skin, making it easy for Yi Qingtang to conceal herself. In this way, if other fiendish demons discovered Yi Qingtang, they would think she was one of them after smelling her scent. Still, Yi Qingtang did not dare to be careless. She rubbed the blood all over herself several times, and repeatedly asked Little White Tiger to confirm that she smelled exactly like a fiendish demon. Only then was she finally assured. Just in case, she also rubbed the blood all over Little White Tiger and Little Heavenly Demon. After being practically smothered in it, Little White Tiger nearly fainted from the strong scent of the fiendish demon blood. Even after finishing all those preparations, Yi Qingtang still acted very cautiously. From afar, she spotted a bunch of fiendish demons doing battle. Previously, she would have maintained a wide distance and skirted around them. However, she wanted to test out her idea and so she secretly moved closer to the group. Yi Qingtang grew increasingly vigilant with every step taken. Her eyes were fixed upon those fiendish demons. When she was within 10 meters of the group, she found that those demons still had not discovered her presence. Only then did Yi Qingtang heave a sigh of relief. A 10-meter range was enough to let all the fiendish demons detect her smell. Since they had no reaction, it must mean that her human scent had been successfully concealed. It must be pointed out that fiendish demons liked humans very much. Humans were one of the best playthings for them, and they would never give up the chance to catch and keep one. Just like Qiu Xi. It also explained why they had overlooked the corpse of the fiendish demon in favor of torturing Qiu Xi. Yi Qingtang couldn't help sighing again at the thought of Qiu Xi. Who knew how many more human lives this eerie mystic realm would take? Yi Qingtang herself had just barely managed to hold on to her own. After confirming that her camouflage was successful, Yi Qingtang finally gathered her courage and continued her journey through the valley, with Little White Tiger and the sleeping Little Heavenly Demon in her arms. Chapter 1752, Camouflage, 2. Over the past few days, Yi Qingtang had been treading extremely carefully through the mountain valley as she was afraid of revealing herself. As a result, she had barely moved much further from the entrance. Now that she was under the camouflage of a fiendish demon's blood, Yi Qingtang progressed a little faster, but the further she ventured into the valley, the more shocked she was. Large patches of blood and numerous fiendish demons could be seen everywhere. Apart from the fiendish demons, there were all sorts of strange creatures inside the mountain valley. Yi Qingtang had never seen such creatures before. Although she had this camouflage, Yi Qingtang still tried her best to avoid the fiendish demons. The valley was so extensive that it was difficult to tell which direction was the exit. A thick demonic aura enveloped the whole mountain valley, such that it was dark and gloomy all the time. Light barely penetrated the entirety of the area and it was difficult to ascertain whether it was daytime or night. As a result, it was challenging to mark the passing of time. Since they had entered the mountain valley, Little Heavenly Demon had been unconscious, and Yi Qingtang couldn't help feeling somewhat worried. Luckily, apart from the fact that it was sleeping all the time, its other vital signs appeared normal. As they made their way through the valley, Yi Qingtang heard a commotion happening somewhere in front. She surveyed the area and saw a forked pathway ahead. A ball of flesh the size of a small hill was blocking one of the pathways. The ball of flesh was completely smooth and round, without any head or tail. It looked soft and tender, and as pink as a pig. Several fiendish demons were surrounding the ball of flesh. They drew long scratches across the ball with their sharp claws. The ball shivered all over as it charged about, trying to escape its debacle. Yi Qingtang hid in the shadows, scanning the scene before her. She then decided to follow the other pathway. There were plenty of monsters in this valley. She frequently witnessed fiendish demons hunting some of those monsters. Yi Qingtang had already seen that ball-shaped monster several times before. It was rather large and quite strong. But it was still no match for the fiendish demons, and was frequently hunted down by them for food. Apart from some of the more powerful monsters, most of the monsters in this valley ended up as hunted prey for the fiendish demons. The fiendish demons possessed ravenous appetites. Since they would consume their own kind without any hesitation, it was only natural they would do the same to other species. Yi Qingtang had just turned to enter the other pathway, when one of the fiendish demons surrounding the ball paused. It looked up and sniffed the air, as if it had detected something. Its comrades were focused on the ball and didn't notice its actions. But that fiendish demon seemed to have smelled something exciting. It narrowed its eyes and turned, no longer interested in killing that ball of flesh. Instead, it scurried over to the other pathway. Yi Qingtang had always tried her best to avoid and hide from large groups of fiendish demons. But presently, she had let down her guard slightly as she hadn't seen any traces of the demons on this pathway. Just as Yi Qingtang relaxed a little, a black figure suddenly scurried down from a cliff beside her. Yi Qingtang's heart thumped heavily and instinctively struck a defensive pose. A fiendish demon had somehow scurried down from the side of a cliff. The demon was clinging onto the wall of the cliff with all four limbs, bearing its long red tongue and sharp teeth, which were dripping with thick drool. And the fiendish demon's eyes were fixed upon Yi Qingtang. Chapter 1753, Camouflage, 3, Yi Qingtang was startled by the sight of that fiendish demon. Had she been discovered? When she saw the crazed eyes upon her, Yi Qingtang's heart had leaped to the back of her throat. These fiendish demons were mostly emperor level while she was only a fourth heaven level. She was no match for them at all. At this point, the fiendish demon's eyes swiveled as its saliva dripped down from its tongue, emitting wafts of an evil stench. It suddenly jumped down from the wall and stood before Yi Qingtang, stretching and contorting its hunched back and long limbs. A mighty aura radiated from its body. It adopted the pose of a predator eyeing its prey. A drop of cold sweat sprouted on Yi Qingtang's temple. She had successfully camouflaged herself against all the other fiendish demons she encountered along the way. How did this particular demon manage to discover her? Yi Qingtang immediately leaped into action. She did not dare to hesitate at all. Carrying little white tiger and little heavenly demon, she fled. She was no match for a fiendish demon. If she was caught, she would be doomed. That fiendish demon was momentarily startled by Yi Qingtang's sudden movement. But it quickly recovered itself and emitted a rageful howl. It was an earth-shattering howl, and following that, a powerful energy was launched straight at Yi Qingtang. It all happened in less than a second. Yi Qingtang felt like she had been struck by an entire mountain the moment that energy hit her. Before she had time to react, she was flying through the air from the force. She could feel a gush of blood surging up her throat as she landed. Gritting her teeth, she swallowed hard to hold back the blood. That fiendish demon was stunned when it saw Yi Qingtang collapsing just from its howl. It then gave a mocking smile as it slowly stepped toward her. Its grotesque face was full of malevolence. "Eastern, trash, how dare you, come here," the fiendish demon's voice sounded very weird and creepy. It squatted down and gazed at Yi Qingtang. The demon's saliva dripped down onto her face. The demon was momentarily taken aback. "Human, you actually have the smell of a human on you, huh? You probably sliced off this human skin not long ago." The hairs at the back of Yi Qingtang's neck stood on end. Her body had gone frozen stiff, she was unable to move an inch. The fiendish demon's words were a shock to her. What did it mean? Hadn't this demon recognized her identity as a human? What a beautiful piece of skin. I will eat you, and then keep this skin for myself. The fiendish demon licked its lips as a greedy glint flashed across its eyes. It reached out long claws toward Yi Qingtang's head, all ready to peel her skin off. An overwhelming sense of despondency fell over Yi Qingtang. She was finally meeting her death here. Before the strength of this fiendish demon, she was too weak. But just as Yi Qingtang resigned herself to her fate, the fiendish demon's face stiffened before contorting into a livid expression. It turned and howled. Before Yi Qingtang could understand what was happening, she saw the fiendish demon give a sudden tremble before standing immobile on the spot. In the next second, a pair of sharp claws pierced through that demon and tore it in half. Chapter 1754, Encampment. 1. Purple blood splattered all over Yi Qingtang, dyeing her clothes a dark purple. Right before the blood covered her, she saw a long, slender figure. It was an eerily handsome man. He watched coldly and impassively as the fiendish demon's blood splashed all over. How could there be humans here? Yi Qingtang was astounded. But before Yi Qingtang could understand how this man managed to appear in front of her, she saw him bite into one of the dead fiendish demon's arms. Between those handsome lips were teeth as sharp as a demon's. The fiendish demon's arm was chewed into mush before the man swallowed it. He was a fiendish demon. Staring at the man, who was still chewing on the fiendish demon's arm, Yi Qingtang suddenly came to a realization. This man standing before her was no human. He was just a fiendish demon wearing a human skin. Following the fiendish demon's death, the oppressive aura that Yi Qingtang had felt also faded. She was finally able to stand up, but her heart was pounding hard. The fiendish demon she had faced earlier was very powerful, and this newcomer was even more so. He continued to chew on the dead demon's flesh, all the while keeping an impassive expression. Yi Qingtang had just jumped from a boiling pot right into the fire. She did not feel relieved at all. The fiendish demon in human skin detected Yi Qingtang's gaze. He frowned slightly and cast a disdainful glance in her direction. Although that glance was full of scorn and disdain, it didn't possess any intention to kill. Yi Qingtang couldn't help feeling very puzzled. But she didn't dare to make any false moves. That fiendish demon noticed that Yi Qingtang kept staring at him and increased the intensity and speed of his chewing. Useless trash, that fiendish demon insulted coldly. His voice was dripping with disdain, but without any enmity. Yi Qingtang was increasingly confused. Could it be? This fiendish demon believed she was so weak that he wasn't worried about her escaping. You can watch all you want. I will not give you even the tiniest bit. The fiendish demon spoke up again after swallowing a mouthful of flesh. Give what? Yi Qingtang was puzzled. Since you are so weak, you should have just remained in the eastern cave. Why have you come to the western territory? Do you have a death wish? How did our side come to have such a weakling like you? The fiendish demon was full of scorn. After swallowing the last bit of demon flesh, he stood up and wiped the traces of blood off his lips. A contemptuous frown was on his face as he studied Yi Qingtang. Eastern Territory? Western Territory? What did he mean? Yi Qingtang was full of questions, but she could feel that this fiendish demon had no intention of attacking her. Moreover, from his tone, it sounded like she was somehow linked to him. Recalling what the first fiendish demon said earlier, Yi Qingtang was now aware that it attacked her not because it recognized her as a human. Thinking about the numerous battles she had witnessed as she journeyed through the mountain valley, Yi Qingtang gradually came to a realization. Chapter 1755, Encampment. 2. What are you still standing there in shock for? You want to run into those bastards from the west? Get lost, the fiendish demon snapped impatiently. Yi Qingtang stood up straight as she started understanding what was going on around her. She had thought that it was normal how the fiendish demons in this valley were constantly fighting, but now felt that maybe that wasn't the case. Based on what this fiendish demon had said, the demons seemed to belong to different camps. The ones who had attacked her previously seemed to be from the western camp, while the one standing right in front of her seemed to be from the eastern camp. The fiendish demons all looked extremely different here, and the sheer number of them were shocking as well. There was no way they were able to differentiate members of the different camps based on looks alone. The only possibility was that they were doing it by smell, to differentiate their peers. The blood that Yi Qingtang had smeared on herself previously was probably from a fiendish demon belonging to the eastern camp. Yi Qingtang breathed a sigh of relief as her disguise hadn't been seen through. But she had underestimated the situation here. The fiendish demons here had split themselves up into camps. Even if they were all demons, they wouldn't hesitate to kill a demon from the other camp. Yi Qingtang was currently in the Western Territory. The fiendish demons from the different camps were fighting constantly to gain more territory. To think that she had made such an unexpected mistake and wandered into enemy territory. Now she was alone as well and had caught the eye of this demon. If the fiendish demon in front of her hadn't thought that she was from their camp and ripped the other demon apart, Yi Qingtang would have died such a wrong death. Looking at the haughty demon in front of her, Yi Qingtang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The fiendish demon was so powerful that they must look like trash in front of it. No wonder he stared at them in disgust. He was so close to calling them weaklings. Who let you come to the Western Territory? What a hindrance. Follow me back to the Eastern Cave at once. The fiendish demon in front of Yi Qingtang hadn't realized that she wasn't one of them. He thought that like him, they were little demons wearing a human skin. Little demons were usually demons which had just been birthed. They were usually protected by the camps and weren't allowed to leave, so he had no idea why these rascals had come all the way here. Yi Qingtang's heart fell as she heard his words. She thought that she had finally managed to escape and felt a sense of foreboding hearing that she was about to go back to the demon camp. However, she didn't dare to reveal herself here as she might die a horrible death. All right, Yi Qingtang could only reply obediently, fearful that her cover would be blown. The fiendish demon had no patience at all and scooped Yi Qingtang up by her collar. He frowned as he realized that she was holding on to two other creatures. What trash have you been eating? No wonder you're so weak. Stop eating these useless things in the future. Follow me into a few more fights and devour some demon blood so that you can become stronger. These things won't even be enough to fill you up. The fiendish demon had assumed that the little white tiger and the little heavenly demon were food that Yi Qingtang had caught. Chapter 1756, Encampment, 2, Yi Qingtang nodded silently. Little White Tiger recognized the situation as well and didn't refute this. If he said anything different, they would definitely be massacred and devoured. The fiendish demon was extremely fast. Even on foot, his speed was much faster than Yi Qingtang when she was flying. Even after spending many days in this valley, Yi Qingtang was still quite clueless about it. Even though she had figured a few things out, it mostly still didn't make sense to her and she could only find out more carefully from this fiendish demon. The fiendish demon didn't suspect much as well and only thought they were clueless little demons that had just been born. There was no other reason why they would have been dumb enough to wander into the enemy territory to seek their death. He started explaining everything to them. Yi Qingtang gradually began to understand more about the valley as the fiendish demon explained to her. In this valley, fiendish demons existed in the largest number. As for the other monsters, apart from a few fierce ones that even the demons didn't dare provoke easily, the others were all either their slaves or their food. The demons here didn't all belong to one group, the powerful demons were split into different camps. Even though they were of the same race, they fought daily to gain territory. The eastern camp was just one of the many groups of demons. There were more than 10 other teams in the valley, small and large, and they were all different. They had absolutely no mercy for demons of the other camps. As long as the demons found them, they would do whatever they could to kill them, then devour their bodies to strengthen themselves. The demon said all of this with a little impatience. All she had to do was stay put and not run around on her own, or no one would even know how she died. Yi Qingtang could only take his scolding silently as she began to worry. Who knew if her disguise would hold up if she was brought to the demon camp? After a whole day's journey, they passed through a forest and were brought straight into the depths of the valley. But in a second, Yi Qingtang was surrounded by countless demons. The demons all gathered together, filling the valley with a thick demonic aura. Yi Qingtang spotted a few other creatures, but they were all chained-up slaves working fearfully for the demons. The moment the demon carrying Yi Qingtang landed, he threw her aside. Demons from the cave swarmed over to greet the demon that had just returned. Some of them noticed Yi Qingtang, who had been thrown to the side, and started sniffing them subconsciously. Yi Qingtang felt her hairs stand up but maintained her neutral expression. Soon enough, the demons lost interest as they smelled a familiar smell on Yi Qingtang. What happened? Didn't the general send you to the western camp to check out the situation there? Why are you back so fast? The fiendish demon in the man's skin grimaced as he looked at Yi Qingtang in disgust. It's done. I'll report back to the general later. This little rascal ran into the western territory herself. She would have died and been devoured by the demons from the western camp if I hadn't been there. Hearing this, the demons all turned to look at Yi Qingtang. They laughed as they saw the skin she was in. This little rascal has a pretty good skin. Where did you find this two-legged lamb? Take it off and let me try it someday, one of the demons said with a laugh. Two-legged lambs were what the demons called the humans. Yi Qingtang was speechless. How could she possibly lend them her skin? Chapter 1757, Demon Cave, 1. The demons mostly looked extremely grotesque. To them, their looks didn't matter since they respected the strong, but for some reason, one of their hobbies entailed wearing human skin. It was said that the demons derived joy from skinning humans whole and then wearing their skins. The bodies of the demons resembled humans in the first place, it was just that they were slightly larger. Once they put on the human skins, all they needed was slight disguise and they would be able to walk among humans undetected. If they swallowed a person's brain, they would inherit all their memories as well. In olden times when the demons ran rampant, they would often devour humans, put on their skins and mingle among other humans. They would wait for opportunities to attack other people, taking joy in the fear on their faces as they realized that the person was already dead. With the strength of the demons, they could slaughter cities just by lifting one finger. But they delighted in inciting fear and anxiety of the lowly humans. In the eastern cave, Yi Qingtang saw many demons in human skins. They were male and female, young and old, and some even looked familiar to her. She had seen the faces of these legendary men in her previous life when she had entered the second domain. These powerful men had later disappeared and people had assumed that they had simply gone into hiding. But now that she thought of it, they must have wandered into this cursed mystic realm like all those from the second domain before them, and ended up becoming the playthings of these fiendish demons. In the end, death was not the worst that a person could face. What was worse was not being able to die even when they wanted to. Yi Qingtang felt her heart sink as she thought of Qiu Ci who had been dragged off earlier. Her eyes swept around but she didn't see anyone in Qiu Chen or Qiu Ci's skin. Perhaps the demons that had taken them were from another camp. But Yi Qingtang had no energy to worry about anyone else right now. She was stuck right in the middle of the demons' camp, where their numbers far exceeded what she had seen in the valley. If her identity was revealed here, her skin would be peeled off in an instant. Yi Qingtang's heart sped up as she thought of this. Even though her expression remained neutral, she kept a constant eye on the demons around her, for fear that her identity would be revealed. But the fiendish demons around her had no interest in her at all and were only focused on the demon who had brought her back. A few of them merely swiped at her and some of them were interested in her human skin. The skins of the two-legged lambs were very popular among the demons. Especially in this valley where humans rarely appeared. "Hey, so how is it? Let me try on the skin." The demon beside her was extremely persistent and lifted its hand to push Yi Qingtang. She almost spat out blood with that slap. Only God knew how strong these demons were. Yi Qingtang swallowed the blood in her throat. She was lucky that they thought she was in a human skin as blood, and the demons just thought that her skin was soaked in blood and didn't take much notice of it. Chapter 1758, Demon Cave, 2, Forget it. Look at how small the skin is. Only such a small demon can wear it. It'll rip if you try to wear it. The demon who had brought Yi Qingtang back was evidently a master at wearing human skin. Still, the persistent demon remained unsatisfied and he reached out to pinch Yi Qingtang's supple skin again. It was extremely strong and almost took away a part of Yi Qingtang's flesh. Stop saying these useless things. The West Side has been very restless lately. I've fought with them quite a few times recently with no clear winner in the end, so you'd better be careful. I don't think they're going to give up so easily. The demon who had brought Yi Qingtang back turned serious as the other demons' expressions darkened slightly and they stopped talking nonsense. They began talking about the matter regarding the camps. As Yi Qingtang stood there tensely, the demons pushed her aside so that she could look for demons her own age in the cave. She was so weak that they didn't bother with speaking to her. Yi Qingtang was chased away like livestock, but she didn't feel offended at all. Instead, she breathed a sigh of relief. A group of demons had been summoned so suddenly, but none of them had realized her true identity. Her disguise must have fooled their sense of smell for now. She got bolder as she realized this and her wary gaze relaxed. This was the camp of the Eastern demons. There was a huge cave in the deep of the valley which was so dark no one could make anything out. Many demons gathered outside the cave with their hands full of fresh blood and flesh. It didn't look like it belonged to humans or demons and looked like flesh from the monster. Yi Qingtang walked over to the cave and found a group of smaller and weaker-looking demons at the entrance. These demons were about as tall as a 10 to 15-year-old child. Their bodies were thinner as well and their features were not yet as grotesque. This place was filled with demons and their skins were either brown or gray, but the little fiendish demons had lighter skin and didn't look as terrifying. If Yi Qingtang's guess was right, these better-looking demons were the little fiendish demons the other demon had been talking about. At this moment, the little fiendish demons were gathered together and chowing down on the flesh they were holding. They looked extremely timid as well, their gazes cautious as they looked at the adult demons around them. Demons ate their own kind too. Since they respected the strong and the little fiendish demons had yet to increase their strength, they were nothing but trash in front of these adult demons. If they were to be stupid enough to anger an adult demon, they might just be devoured. The demons looked at Yi Qingtang with awe as she walked over, unlike the adult demons who disregarded her. Great Sage, a small demon looked nervously at the approaching Yi Qingtang, its heart filled with fear. Great Sage was what the demons called powerful demons. It was akin to the human's version of master. When Yi Qingtang heard the little fiendish demon call her Great Sage, she stiffened. Great Sage, would you like to eat? A few small demons looked at Yi Qingtang whom they thought was in human skin. They were extremely afraid, and took from the pile of meat the freshest piece which they presented to Yi Qingtang. Chapter 1759, Demon Cave, 3. Used to the looks of disdain she had been receiving from the older demons, she was slightly confused as she saw the looks of fear in the young demons' faces. It was just that. Why were they so afraid of her? Yi Qingtang was a little uneasy but quickly understood the situation as she followed the young demon's gazes and took a good look at herself. Human skins were extremely popular among the demons and only a few older demons had the right to wear them. How could these young demons who didn't even leave the camp ever get a human skin? Thus, these demons had mistaken Yi Qingtang for the older demons who wore human skin. Yi Qingtang's heart settled after she figured this out. In fact, not to mention the adult demons, defeating the top 10 of the martial arts championship would be like child's play to the young demons. Forget it. Yi Qingtang rejected the little fiendish demon's offering, feeling slightly appalled. There was no way she could stomach that piece of bloody meat. Even though Yi Qingtang rejected them politely, this only made them even more anxious. Their eyes filled with fear as they looked at Yi Qingtang. We did not mean to offend you, great sage. Please spare us. It's all our fault. Great sage, how could we let you eat the lowly flesh of a Mongolian monster? The young demons were almost in tears. They were mere ants in the eyes of the adult demons. Had they not been in the same clan and camp, they would have been completely devoured. Not even their bones would have been spared. That said, they would still be eaten if they ever offended an adult demon. Mongolian monster. Yi Qingtang's lips twitched a little. It was a monster of the paragon level. A single blow from it would easily kill Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang was struck with the realization that she was right at the bottom of the food chain here. Even the food that the little demons ate was much stronger than her. You over there. Bring the earth fire lizards from the cave over with them. The great general wants to eat them today, a demon said as he walked out of the cave and looked at the little demons, then at Yi Qingtang. They had treated her like an adult demon as well. Earth fire lizards. Yi Qingtang almost spat out blood again as she heard this. Earth fire lizards were extremely ferocious creatures which could destroy entire countries. One had appeared in the central mainland 100 years ago. It had destroyed an entire country, attracting the attention of the surrounding dynasties. They had only killed the earth fire lizard after sacrificing almost 1 million soldiers. And it was rumored that that earth fire lizard had only been a cub. The little demons had nothing else to say. They had just been worried over how to make up for their mistake of offending the adult demons. Now that they had been given an order, they stood obediently in front of Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang had no idea where the earth fire lizards were. Looking at the little demons gazing at her fearfully, she could only lie and say, "All right, follow me." The little demons quickly nodded profusely. Afraid to let the great sage lead the way for them, they all ran in front, leading her forward cautiously. Though Yi Qingtang was feeling extremely helpless and miserable, she made sure to maintain her cold expression. Chapter 1760, False Bravado. 1. The pit was further down from the fiendish demon cave. Those little fiendish demons walked in front and Yi Qingtang followed behind them. There was no telling how deep the cave was. Yi Qingtang saw many broken bones, as well as some rotting bits of flesh. A strong evil stench permeated the entire cave, the smell so intense that the sensitive little white tiger was nearly fainting from it. It kept gagging from the smell. It was then that several little fiendish demons walking beside Yi Qingtang noticed the two things nestled inside her arms. One of them was pitch black and looked like a baby dragon, while the other was white and furry. You are truly the great sage. We seldom see such exotic food here. We have only heard other great sages mention about dragons. We heard that they are very rare and very delicious. And great sage managed to obtain the sweetest and most tender of them all, a baby dragon. You are indeed formidable. One of the little fiendish demons was full of respect and adoration. A great sage who was able to obtain a rare baby dragon must be very powerful indeed. The corners of Yi Qingtang's lips twitched slightly as she gazed at the sleeping little heavenly demon. Yi Qingtang wouldn't be caught in this state if little heavenly demon was awake now. Soon enough, they arrived at the pit. Yi Qingtang could feel an intense heat emanating from somewhere deep within. Gazing into the darkness, she saw many huge creatures chained to the floor, unable to move. Those huge eyes stared back at her through the shadows. They were giant earth fire lizards. Covered in deep red scales, their tremendous bodies were like mountains. Even from where she was standing, Yi Qingtang could already feel the powerful heat radiating from the bodies. According to legend, the baby earth fire lizard in the central mainland was over a dozen meters tall. Meanwhile, these earth fire lizards in front of Yi Qingtang were hundreds of meters in height. It was clear just how big these creatures could become. The appearance of an adult earth fire lizard on central mainland would only spell a major disaster. But now, these powerful and destructive earth fire lizards had been chained to the ground. Those little fiendish demons displayed no fear at all toward the creatures. To them, the earth fire lizards were like a flock of sheep waiting to be slaughtered. Yi Qingtang was the only one who was shaken. "Great sage, please wait a moment. We will settle this minor matter. We won't trouble the great sage over this," the group of little fiendish demons said respectfully. It would be easy for an emperor-level adult fiendish demon to handle these ferocious earth fire lizards. Meanwhile, the fourth heaven-level Yi Qingtang could barely hold back her tears when faced with these massive creatures. But now, wasn't she supposed to be an all-powerful adult fiendish demon in the eyes of these little demons? Yi Qingtang immediately put on an imperious facade and nodded. "Hurry up. Don't waste my time." As long as they didn't ask her to take action. At Yi Qingtang's command, those little fiendish demons rallied and pounced toward those earth fire lizards. Those little demons had behaved so timidly in front of Yi Qingtang, but they now displayed the ferocity of their kind when dealing with the earth fire lizards. They were just skinny little things but were able to crack open the skulls of the earth fire lizards with just one punch. Those lizards did not even have the strength to resist, but just died on the spot. Chapter 1761, False Bravado. 2-3 earth fire lizards were killed in this manner, their heads bashed in without even a chance to retaliate. The little fiendish demons broke the thick chains and dragged the dead earth fire lizards from the pit. "Great sage, those little fiendish demons who had attacked those earth fire lizards so ferociously were now as meek as mice toward Yi Qingtang." Yi Qingtang shivered on the inside as she observed those earth fire lizards who had their skulls crushed to a pulp. The fierce reputation of the fiendish demons were not for nothing. The earth fire lizard's brain is the freshest and tastiest. "Why did you do that?" Yi Qingtang suppressed the shock in her heart and raised her brows in displeasure. Those little fiendish demons shivered like willows in the wind at Yi Qingtang's cold stare. "Great sage, have mercy." They behaved as if Yi Qingtang intended to eat them. Yi Qingtang maintained her cold expression. "I will spare you this time." Those little fiendish demons immediately acted like they had just received a great gift. They thanked Yi Qingtang profusely and cautiously followed a few steps behind her as they left the pit. Meanwhile, Yi Qingtang heaved a secret sigh of relief the moment she turned her head. "You truly know how to act." Little White Tiger murmured as it observed Yi Qingtang's false bravado. "All right, I won't act anymore. Let's just throw ourselves at the mercy of these fiendish demons." Yi Qingtang smirked. She couldn't even defeat the prey of these fiendish demons. It would be suicide to try and fight an adult fiendish demon, or even a baby one. Little White Tiger's face seemed to blanch and immediately stopped its teasing. No, you'd better continue your act. It looks like your skin is still pretty useful. Without this human skin, Yi Qingtang would be exposed no matter how much demon blood she spread on herself. The earth fire lizards were sent into the cave. Yi Qingtang could not see what was deep within, but she knew there must be extremely powerful fiendish demons inside. Even from standing at the entrance of the cave, she could feel their mighty aura. After finishing their task, the little fiendish demons gathered together to eat. They desperately wished to grow bigger and become adult fiendish demons, to possess powerful abilities and lose the fear of being eaten. Yi Qingtang had been here for a day and none of the demons discovered her identity. It was only then that she allowed herself to relax a little. Most of the fiendish demons went to sleep as night fell over the mountain valley. Yi Qingtang didn't dare to sleep. She was afraid of being exposed while sleeping. Consequently, she found a quiet spot near the entrance and sat down cross-legged. After making sure there were no fiendish demons around, she placed little white tiger on the ground and had it keep watch while she cultivated. It would not be easy to sneak away under the watchful eyes of those little fiendish demons. Due to the war between the various factions, most of the fiendish demons went out in pairs and groups. Yi Qingtang tried to leave once during the afternoon, but before she had gone far, she was discovered by a few other demons who asked her where she was going. They were going to accompany her in case she encountered demons from the other factions. Yi Qingtang quickly threw out a few excuses before turning back. She knew that it would not be that easy to leave this fiendish demon camp. There were also a good number of fiendish demons guarding the entrance of the camp. Since she couldn't leave, Yi Qingtang had no choice but to try and cultivate while most of the demons were sleeping. In such a dangerous place, every bit of extra power counted. Chapter 1762, False Bravado, 3. After entering the mystic realm, Yi Qingtang had encountered danger after danger, barely having the time to escape with her life each time. She managed to enjoy a few peaceful days after meeting Little Heavenly Demon, but she could not cultivate then as her body had yet to fully recover. This was the first time she managed to cultivate since entering the mystic realm. She might have been mistaken, but Yi Qingtang could feel a distinct warmth growing within her body as she cultivated. The surrounding energy entering her body was not like the usual spirit energy, but felt like a totally different kind of power. This power was intense but very unfamiliar to Yi Qingtang. She tried to refine this energy, and although it was a bit difficult, she still managed to absorb it eventually. Yi Qingtang was amazed at this discovery. She then continued to focus on cultivating. Perhaps this unusual power originated from this mystic realm? As Yi Qingtang cultivated, it was like a blazing flame had been lit within her body. It spread out from the inside, as if she was immersed in a raging fire but was completely unharmed by it. Yi Qingtang's bones and muscles seemed to be affected by the high temperature. A peculiar sensation washed over her physical body. As the time passed, she did not know how long she had been cultivating. She suddenly felt a pain at her wrist and opened her eyes in alarm. Little White Tiger was biting her wrist and shooting her a significant look. It was only then that Yi Qingtang realized it was already daylight. All the fiendish demons around her were starting to awaken. Yi Qingtang immediately stopped her cultivation. The entire cave was bustling with activity. Large groups of fiendish demons paired up to venture out of the camp. Overhearing the conversations of some demons, Yi Qingtang knew that these fiendish demons were going into the valley to battle the other factions over territory. This happened every day and was nothing unusual to the fiendish demons. The demons from the west region are making a lot of noise. We will destroy them. One of the fiendish demons cracked its knuckles as it exited the cave. It glanced at Yi Qingtang and then at the group of little fiendish demons. It said disdainfully, "We have been in battle over the past few days. You bunch of useless fools had better buck up. Bring them to survey our surroundings and report on the situation." The adult fiendish demon could feel that Yi Qingtang was not that powerful. As a result, it relegated her to perform simple scouting duties with the little fiendish demons. Yi Qingtang didn't object. Instead, she felt relieved. She would have no chance of escaping if she had to tag along with the adult fiendish demons. But with this bunch of little demons, she might have a good chance of making a getaway. The bunch of little fiendish demons seldom got the opportunity to leave the camp. Having finally received a mission, they immediately gathered behind Yi Qingtang, standing proud and erect like brave soldiers. Meanwhile, Yi Qingtang picked up Little White Tiger and Little Heavenly Demon. Looking at the bunch of little demons, she commanded coldly, "You must obey everything I say the moment we leave the camp. I will devour anyone who dares to fool around." Her manner was extremely domineering. The bunch of little fiendish demons were so scared that they just nodded obediently. After all, it was an honor to be able to go on a mission with the great sage. They would definitely obey her every command. Yi Qingtang was very satisfied with their reactions. Inside her mind, she started to plan how she was going to separate herself from the little fiendish demons. She would then wash off the demon blood from her body and make her great escape. Chapter 1763, Impossible to Escape. 1. As the little fiendish demons had limited battle abilities, they would be dismembered immediately if they were to participate in the war. As a result, the camp usually assigned them one of the safer tasks. Yi Qingtang led the bunch of little fiendish demons out of the cave. Since being led here, Yi Qingtang already had the notion of escaping. As a result, she had observed the surroundings carefully on the way to the camp. Mountain ranges surrounded the eastern fiendish demon camp. There were also numerous patches of forests here and there, very suitable for hiding. Yi Qingtang seemed to be searching for something when she entered one of the forests. The little fiendish demons were following close behind her and they started to look nervous as they surveyed their surroundings. It wasn't that they were cowardly, but that their abilities were as good as nothing when compared to an adult fiendish demon. As a result, even just scouting the surroundings of their camp was a great danger to them. But luckily, they would be led by an adult fiendish demon whenever they went out scouting. The little fiendish demons felt very assured when they looked at Yi Qingtang. Little did they know that she was constantly thinking of how to escape. Their surroundings were relatively safe and secure as they were still near the eastern fiendish demon main camp. Yi Qingtang did not discover any traces of other demons after making one full round. But she heard the sounds of a stream. Yi Qingtang immediately saw her chance to escape. She commanded the little fiendish demons to scout out an area which was in the opposite direction to the stream. The little fiendish demons did not dare to question the great sage's command, and obediently went forth to scout. Taking advantage of their absence, Yi Qingtang immediately ran toward the stream. She soon found a small stream in the midst of the forest. The water was very clear and there were no other creatures around it. Yi Qingtang heaved a sigh of relief. Yi Qingtang had smeared demon blood all over her body in an attempt to prevent them from discovering her identity as a human. But after finding out about the fierce battle between the different demon factions, she suddenly realized. It was better to wash the scent of the fiendish demon off her body. At the very most, she would just have to eat a few more elixirs to mask her own scent and then make a big detour to skirt around the regions crowded with demons. That would be better than encountering fiendish demons from other factions and dying in their hands. After putting down Little White Tiger and Little Heavenly Demon, Yi Qingtang bent over to wash the demon blood off her body. Fiendish demon blood quickly became invisible after coming into contact with human skin. It could not be seen but its scent remained for a long time. It could only be washed off with clear water. Yi Qingtang had just taken off her clothes when she suddenly heard a wailing sound coming from somewhere nearby. It was a sharp, high-pitched noise, unlike the deep voice of an adult fiendish demon. Was it the bunch of little fiendish demons? Yi Qingtang was startled. The sound came from nearby. Before Yi Qingtang could ponder what was happening, several black figures suddenly emerged from some undergrowth. They headed straight toward her. What was going on? Yi Qingtang's head spun. Within seconds, several malevolent-looking fiendish demons had appeared beside the stream. Yi Qingtang's heart instantly sank to the bottom. There were at least 8 fiendish demons and they were looking at Yi Qingtang with an intense thirst to kill. Chapter 1764, Impossible to Escape. 2. Yi Qingtang's mind was blown on seeing those fiendish demons. They were definitely not from the eastern faction. Damn, so many, Little White Tiger was dumbstruck by the sight of those demons. Yi Qingtang would be no match against even a single little fiendish demon, but she was now faced with 8 adults. She quickly picked up Little White Tiger and Little Heavenly Demon and turned to run in the opposite direction. All thoughts about washing off the demon blood on her had fled out the window. At a time like this, Yi Qingtang didn't dare to hesitate for even a second. She never expected to encounter demons from other factions so close to the eastern fiendish demon camp. If these fiendish demons had appeared just a little later, Yi Qingtang might have already washed away the demon scent and gained a better chance at escaping. But now, the demon blood smeared all over her made her one big, giant target. Those fiendish demons just had to track her by that demon scent. The demons were way faster than Yi Qingtang and instantly caught up with her. Was she going to die now? Yi Qingtang's heart had leaped right up to the back of her throat. Her scalp went numb as she surveyed the 8 fiendish demons surrounding her. But just as Yi Qingtang was scared stiff, numerous black figures scurried out from the nearby undergrowth. They gathered around Yi Qingtang. Great Sage! Yi Qingtang saw that it was the group of eastern little fiendish demons whom she had diverted away. Those little demons were very scared but they didn't run away. They stood before Yi Qingtang and revealed their sharp claws, glaring vigilantly at the 8 adult fiendish demons. Those little fiendish demons had scouted the area according to Yi Qingtang's instructions. They had initially felt it was a redundant action as no enemy demons would dare to come near their camp. Nevertheless, they still did it as Yi Qingtang had commanded it. But unexpectedly, they had detected the scent of other demons during their scouting. Several of them had even been attacked. At this moment, they finally realized that the enemy had already invaded the area surrounding their camp. There were over a dozen little fiendish demons but they were not fully grown and no match at all for those 8 adults. As a result, the shadow of death that enveloped Yi Qingtang's heart did not completely dissipate. The 8 adult fiendish demons didn't show any signs of fear when those little demons appeared. Instead, their faces took on a greedy expression. Yi Qingtang and those little demons were like a bunch of tasty lambs all ready for slaughter. The direness of the situation made Yi Qingtang break out in cold sweat. She instinctively looked down at Little Heavenly Demon. Being surrounded by 8 adult fiendish demons, it was near impossible for her escape. Her only hope was Little Heavenly Demon but it remained deep in slumber. Great Sage, hurry up and leave. Go tell the other great sages that we are under enemy attack. One of the little fiendish demons suppressed its own fear as it muttered in a low voice. Yi Qingtang was stunned. She could clearly see how scared these little fiendish demons were of the adults. Nevertheless, they didn't flee but chose to soldier on. However, Yi Qingtang wouldn't be able to flee even if she wanted to. Those 8 adult fiendish demons would never let a single one of them escape. Leave. Not so easy. One of the adult fiendish demons revealed its sharp fangs as it narrowed its eyes at Yi Qingtang and the little fiendish demons. Chapter 1765, Impossible to Escape, 3. In the next second, the fiendish demon let out a sky-splitting roar and rushed towards Yi Qingtang and the little fiendish demons with its friends, wanting to devour them. Yi Qingtang's heart turned cold. Both she and the little fiendish demons were going to die here today. As 8 black shadows rushed towards them, sounds of hurried footsteps came from behind them. Yi Qingtang frowned slightly, her view completely filled with the sight of the fiendish demons about to pounce on them. While they surrounded her, the little fiendish demons were all shaking with fear yet didn't back down a single inch. At this critical moment, the footsteps behind Yi Qingtang suddenly vanished. In the next second, a ferocious tiger-like figure leaped from behind Yi Qingtang and crashed straight into the incoming murderous fiendish demons. With the appearance of that one figure, many black figures appeared around them and all rushed towards them as well. The demons howled and pounced on the 8 demons attacking them. Yi Qingtang stood rooted to the ground as the demons in front of her began slaughtering each other. It's the great sages. The great sages are here. The sharp noses of the demons around Yi Qingtang had picked up a familiar scent and they opened their eyes in excitement. Yi Qingtang's scent of smell was nothing compared to the demons and she couldn't differentiate their scent. But if the little fiendish demons were saying that, the demons who had just come had to be from the eastern camp. In the blink of an eye, the two clans were swept into battle. Teeth and claws became the most valuable weapon in this simple but violent fight. Blood splattered all over the place as a metallic scent filled the air. The eastern camp was obviously at an advantage here. The 8 attacking demons had originally been planning a secret attack and hadn't expected that the demons who had stayed behind to take care of things would appear. The two groups fought to the death as the fight intensified. Yi Qingtang felt her heart slowly calm down as she looked at the demons around her. Her eyes darted around her as she tried making use of the chaos to slip away. The demon blood on her was useless now. The ore-masking elixir would only mask Yi Qingtang's scent and not the scent of demon blood on her. Yi Qingtang wanted to use this opportunity to sneak away, wash the demon blood off herself and quickly leave the dangerous valley. But now she was surrounded by a constant crowd of little fiendish demons, so she couldn't budge at all. If she left now, it would definitely look suspicious. As Yi Qingtang was agonizing over what to do, the eastern camp demons had already taken advantage of their numbers and killed the 8 demons who had tried to attack them. Within moments, the bodies of the 8 fiendish demons lay on the ground as the strong smell of blood permeated the air. Seeing the 8 demons die, the scared little fiendish demons all breathed out a sigh of relief. They would have become the demons' food if the demons from their camp hadn't come. The victorious 8th Division would soon have the bodies of the defeated demons carved up, the internal organs eaten. After the commotion, Yi Qingtang caught the eye of a slightly bigger demon. Chapter 1766, This Taste is to Die For. 1. What are you doing here? Who asked you to bring these little demons here? The demon was unhappy about the trouble the little fiendish demons had caused. The camps in the valley were all fighting non-stop right now, with the adult fiendish demon lives all at stake. What were these little demons causing trouble for? It was a great sage who asked us to patrol, a scared little fiendish demon said. The fiendish demon frowned slightly as its eyes swept over Yi Qingtang in the human skin. It seemed as though she was the leader. However, his gaze turned disdainful as he looked at her slender body. By now, Yi Qingtang was already used to the disdainful gaze from the adult fiendish demons. But this demon turned around suddenly, grabbed a heart from one of the defeated enemy demons and threw it at Yi Qingtang's feet. Come over here and eat with us. How could they possibly have such a weak adult fiendish demon in the eastern camp? If not for the human skin, he would have thought that she was a little fiendish demon. Yi Qingtang looked at the bloody heart beside her leg as her eye twitched. The demon's heart looked like a piece of meat that had been rotting a long time. It was so disgusting that she felt like throwing up just looking at it. But the little fiendish demons beside her drooled as they looked at the heart. To them, flesh from the same species was the best. It tasted good and made them stronger, and was the food they looked forward to the most. But even though the little fiendish demon wanted to eat the heart, they knew that they were not qualified to do so. Only the adult fiendish demons could eat the flesh of demons. Yi Qingtang's heart felt even heavier under the gaze of the envious little fiendish demons. Could she not eat it? This heart was going to be harder to swallow than the worm Minggu had given her. As Yi Qingtang looked at the fiendish demons devouring flesh from their own kind, her stomach churned. But she was afraid that she would draw suspicion to herself if she didn't eat the heart. Should she eat it? Yi Qingtang felt that she had no choice. She could only suppress her disgust, pick the bloody demon heart up from the ground and bring it to the edge of her mouth. Damn, the smell was revolting. Yi Qingtang had no idea how the demons could look so satisfied while eating this disgusting thing. But she had to eat it no matter how much she didn't want to. She could only close her eyes, steal her heart and bite down. As the rotten taste of the meat burst in Yi Qingtang's mouth, it took all she could to suppress her cry. God knows how she was going to find the courage to swallow this. Yi Qingtang summoned all the will she had in her body to keep it down. She gritted her teeth and swallowed it, feeling as though she was going to pass out. However, what are you still standing there for? Get over here and eat now. How are you going to be of use in the battle after tomorrow if you don't eat? A huge demon said to Yi Qingtang, who was standing rooted to the ground and staring palely. He scooped up a piece of the demon's brain and handed it over to Yi Qingtang. He was only trying to help, but Yi Qingtang felt like she couldn't take it anymore. But under the gaze of all these demons, she had no choice. If she didn't want to blow her cover, she walked over as the little fiendish demons looked on enviously, took the grey mess of brain and swallowed it, bite by bite. Chapter 1767, This taste is to die for. 2. Fiendish demon flesh was nutritious to their own kind, but to a human like Yi Qingtang, it was a great challenge to her taste buds. Yi Qingtang didn't know how much demon flesh she had already forced down her own throat. Her stomach was churning, and if not for the fear of exposing herself, she would have already vomited everything out. Little White Tiger could only quietly sympathize with Yi Qingtang as it watched her go green with revulsion as she swallowed down the meat. Even Little White Tiger would find fiendish demon flesh disgusting and hard to swallow, let alone Yi Qingtang. You don't need to thank me. It's all for the camp. The tall, strapping fiendish demon thought that the tears streaming down Yi Qingtang's face were tears of gratitude. Lowering her head without a word, Yi Qingtang silently cursed that fiendish demon and all its ancestors. Granted, it had good intentions, but this was something she would rather not have. 8 fiendish demon bodies were soon demolished, leaving only bits of broken bones which were given to those salivating little fiendish demons. Their faces were full of bliss and contentment just gnawing on those bones. The strong smell of blood soon attracted several other eastern fiendish demons over. They were enraged to find out that demons from the other factions had been plotting to attack their main camp. With her stomach still churning and an increasing number of demons gathering here, Yi Qingtang could feel the chances of her escape gradually narrowing. It's all thanks to the great sage's vigilance. She had us scout out the area again, otherwise we might not have discovered them. One of the little fiendish demons was full of adoration and praise for Yi Qingtang. They would not have discovered the situation if Yi Qingtang hadn't insisted that they scout the area a few more times. The other adult fiendish demons nodded and looked at Yi Qingtang less scornfully. Nevertheless, they were still inwardly shaking their heads at her weak powers. Yi Qingtang was feeling very depressed. She finally got the chance to escape, but it had been taken away from her. As for her vigilance, it was truly one big misunderstanding. It has been rather chaotic around here recently. You all hurry back to the cave. We will not have you do scouting work for the time being, the fiendish demons instructed. After a discussion amongst themselves, they realized that there had been quite a bit of enemy activity near their camp. Fiendish demons from an opposing faction had been able to sneak so close to their camp today. Who knew what would happen the next time? They would be sending the little fiendish demons to their death if they continued to make them do scouting work. The little fiendish demons nodded obediently. And you? You can also stay inside the cave unless you are needed. Several adult fiendish demons didn't forget today's great benefactor. They were being kind. Although they scorned her for her weak abilities, she had indeed uncovered the enemy's plot today. As a result, they were kind enough to let her hide in the cave rather than go out and risk her life. But Yi Qingtang was thunderstruck by their words. Didn't this mean she would never get another chance to escape? Still in a daze, Yi Qingtang and a bunch of fiendish demons returned to the camp. Thereafter, the demons all scurried off to perform the necessary tasks, while Yi Qingtang sat in a corner brooding. She had been forced to eat so much demon flesh and was now imprisoned in the camp. When in the world would she ever be able to leave? Yi Qingtang was very despondent, but she didn't dare to show it. She just sat at the entrance of the cave, watching the comings and goings of the fiendish demons. Chapter 1768, This Taste is to Die For. 3. Perhaps she was imagining things, but she felt like there were a lot more fiendish demons at the camp now than when she first arrived. In this way, it was impossible for Yi Qingtang to find another chance to escape. The fiendish demons were all busy with the war. As Yi Qingtang was considered a weakling and she had already made a big contribution earlier, she was allowed to stay in the camp. The little fiendish demons were all very fond of this affable, great sage. Knowing that she would not be able to leave this place for some time, Yi Qingtang could only calm her heart down and concentrate on cultivating. She was a human but had to carefully pass her days surrounded by fiendish demons. All around her were demons who could easily kill her with just one smack. It was an extremely stressful feeling. As for cultivating, Yi Qingtang could only do it in the dead of the night. She had to hide in a remote corner and have little white tigers stand guard before she could secretly cultivate. After days of cultivation, Yi Qingtang discovered something miraculous. The mountain valley was filled with massive amounts of demon energy. As Yi Qingtang cultivated, the energy inside her increased continuously. Meanwhile, the surrounding demon energy also slowly seeped into her body. This was not a good thing at all. If she took in too demon energy, it was possible that she might plummet over to the dark side. At first, she was very careful about it but soon discovered that the demon energy that had seeped into her body would quickly disappear as if absorbed by something inside her. This feeling was very strange and Yi Qingtang couldn't help linking it to her mutated heavenly demon bloodline. Perhaps the demon energy had been absorbed by her blood. She was unable to ascertain this for now. But this was a good thing for Yi Qingtang. She would not have dared to continue cultivating if the demon energy hadn't disappeared. Her body would not be able to endure large amounts of demon energy. As the days went by, Yi Qingtang got to know more about the general situation in the mountain valley. But the demon blood on Yi Qingtang also gradually faded as time passed. She had no choice but to discreetly get close to the dead demons dragged back to camp, and secretly smear their blood on herself. Today, Yi Qingtang once again stole over to the new batch of demon bodies dragged back to camp. She used a bottle to collect some demon blood and then found an isolated place to quickly smear the blood all over herself. After she was done, she walked out again. The moment she stepped out, Yi Qingtang heard several fiendish demons talking about something. It seemed that they had just returned from a battle. She nonchalantly got a little closer and sat down somewhere nearby so that she could overhear their words. She discovered something from their conversation. The war between the different fiendish demon factions had been ongoing for a long time, but the battles had become increasingly intense over the past 6 months. The reason behind the increased intensity was not something as simple as the fight for more territory. It was because something very important to the fiendish demons would be happening soon. The increased intensity of the fighting was because of this impending occurrence. Inside this mountain valley, there was a strange space that had been sealed off. Chapter 1769, Sealed Space, 1. What is this sealed space? Why haven't I heard about this before? One of the little fiendish demons asked the bunch of adult demons. The adult fiendish demons tossed the little demon a scornful look. You were only born not long ago. There are many things in this world you don't know about. Can you please tell me? The little fiendish demon asked respectfully. Since the adult fiendish demon was in a pretty good mood and it said, Do you know how long the demon wars have lasted in this mountain valley? The little fiendish demon shook its head. The adult demon continued. Our ancestors have battled in this valley for tens of thousands of years. The little fiendish demon was stunned. Yi Qingtang, who was eavesdropping, was likewise astonished. Tens of thousands of years. Tens of thousands of years ago, this place was not a mountain valley but it gradually evolved into one. I heard a previous great sage mention that this valley contains a secret sealed space called the Deity Ocean. Every 10,000 years, strange fissures in the space-time continuum will appear in this area. The great Earth would crack, causing mountains to collapse, rivers to overflow and the stars to shift. During this chaotic time, the Deity Ocean would appear. Whoever can obtain this Deity Ocean will be able to rule over everything. The little fiendish demons were all engrossed in the narration. Then did the fiendish demon who obtained the Deity Ocean become invincible? The adult fiendish demon snorted derisively. Do you think it's that easy to obtain the Deity Ocean? Let me tell you that no demon has been able to obtain the Deity Ocean for tens of thousands of years. Fiendish demons from the various factions have been battling for so many years just to get the opportunity to obtain the Deity Ocean when it appears. But no one has succeeded yet. Haven't you noticed that the battles have become more intense recently? According to our estimates, the Deity Ocean will likely appear sometime within these 2 years. Everyone wants to obtain that Deity Ocean. The Deity Ocean was very desirable to fiendish demons. Greed and ambition were present in any race, even more so for the vicious fiendish demons. The little fiendish demons were very impressed by the story. They felt that the Deity Ocean was something extremely powerful. Yi Qingtang was also listening, but she didn't think much about the Deity Ocean. But there was something that triggered her suspicions. She, Jiang Xiaobai and 8 others were supposed to enter the Immortal Footsteps mystic realm. But the mystic realm had undergone a complete change and turned into a vicious battleground. According to that fiendish demon, it was because of the impending appearance of this Deity Ocean. Was it because of this fissure in the space-time continuum that resulted in them falling into this mystic realm? Yi Qingtang couldn't help feeling that these two things must be linked. But she was unable to ascertain it as a fact. Just as Yi Qingtang was prepared to listen to more stories about the fiendish demons, the demon in the skin of the handsome man who brought her to this camp came over with a bunch of other demons. They had just returned from a great battle. Those demons were covered in blood and a thick stench of it wafted off them. Here, for you. The fiendish demon in the skin of the handsome man tossed a piece of demon flesh toward her. Yi Qingtang was momentarily taken aback before reaching out to catch the bloody meat. I heard that you led a bunch of little demons and discovered traces of our enemies. This is your reward, the demon declared gallantly. Chapter 1770, Sealed Space, 2, Yi Qingtang looked at the demon flesh in her hands. That unforgettable taste she had experienced that day once again surged into her mouth, making her turn pale. Ingesting fiendish demon flesh was very good for enhancing the powers of another demon. After a battle, most of the demon flesh would be divided out and given to the demons who had participated in the fight. The best parts would be set aside and offered to the big shots in the camp. For a weakling adult fiendish demon like Yi Qingtang, she didn't even have the right to participate in a battle, and would never get the chance to ingest any demon flesh. Yi Qingtang was very grateful for this fact, but today, someone had been kind-hearted enough to offer her some. Who, didn't you promise that piece of meat to me? One of the demons standing beside the first demon murmured. The demon called who glanced at his comrade. Are you that desperate for that one bite? The demon was truly desperate. No one would reject another bite of demon flesh. Hu turned away and looked at Yi Qingtang with disdain. What is your mark? Mark referred to a fiendish demon's name. Qing. Yi Qingtang randomly threw out the first syllabus of her own name. A demon's mark contained only one character. It was just for ease of calling and didn't hold any other significance. If a fiendish demon died in battle, his mark could also be assumed by the other little fiendish demons. What kind of mark is that? Sounds weak. Hu frowned. As Hu was wearing a human skin, he could display the same expressions as a normal human. If not for the demon aura he exuded, everyone would have thought he was a noble aristocrat just by the looks of him. Yi Qingtang had been in the camp for some time and understood how some things worked here. The big shots of the eastern camp usually remained in the deep recesses of the cave, seldom venturing out. Yi Qingtang had yet to even catch a glimpse of any of the elite fiendish demons. Meanwhile, who was one of the higher-ranking demons in this camp? In fact, he was the highest-ranking demon Yi Qingtang had met and was very powerful. Otherwise, he would not have ventured alone into the Western territories to scout out the area. As who was such a high-ranking demon, Yi Qingtang had no choice but to quietly bear his insults. But just the sight of that fresh demon meat made her feel like vomiting. Yi Qingtang didn't want it, but there was another demon who desired it. I say, Qing. Who promised that meat to me? But I can't object now since he gave it to you. Nevertheless, can you let me wear your skin for a while? I have one too, we can do an exchange. The other demon stared greedily at Yi Qingtang's tender skin. There have been fewer and fewer humans around to obtain fresh skins, and it was troublesome to maintain their old ones. As a result, those old skins had become very wrinkled and looked rather ugly. On the contrary, Yi Qingtang's skin was still smooth and tender, and looked very lovely. This demon had already asked to borrow Yi Qingtang's skin the very first day she arrived. Now, his desire had only intensified. Yi Qingtang was speechless. How could she exchange skins with him? Before Yi Qingtang could refuse, that demon was already reaching out to pull off her skin. Yi Qingtang's scalp went numb. Her identity would be revealed. But before Yi Qingtang could react, who suddenly reached out and dragged that demon away with him. Chapter 1771, Sealed Space, 3, How many times have I told you that this skin is too small for you, who scolded? That demon looked very aggrieved. A piteous expression on that ugly face gave him a weird look that seemed cute but grotesque. Can't I just try it on? No. Who instantly rejected him. She might be wrong, but Yi Qingtang just felt that Hu was exceptionally protective toward her. Having been reprimanded by Hu, that demon instantly hunkered down obediently. The other fiendish demons couldn't help laughing at the scene. Bah, forget it. Apart from little fiendish demons and the more slender adult ones, no one else can wear that skin. You already know that this is Hu's most beautiful piece of skin. He will kill you if you destroy it. Yi Qingtang's heart stopped as she shot the imperious-looking Hu a sideways glance. She was still wondering why Hu appeared exceptionally protective of her. It was actually because he liked her skin. Fiendish demons could shrink their bodies but only to a certain limit. Yi Qingtang was of a slim build, and no matter how those tall, strapping demons tried to shrink themselves, it was impossible for them to get down to her small size. Hu felt Yi Qingtang's skin was very beautiful, but he couldn't wear it. Nevertheless, he could still admire it while it was on her. He would not allow other demons to destroy that skin. So it was probably because coveted her skin that Hu brought Yi Qingtang back to the eastern camp. For the first time in her life, Yi Qingtang felt that her skin was really useful. The bunch of fiendish demons hung around for a bit longer before being ordered to go complete their respective tasks. The endless battles during this period meant that they didn't have much time to waste. Yi Qingtang secretly heaved a sigh of relief. With Hu's protection, no other demon would dare to take her skin. Otherwise, her identity would be exposed and she would suffer a fate worse than death. The bunch of fiendish demons busied about their own tasks. Meanwhile, the weakling Yi Qingtang mostly spent her time with the little fiendish demons. In contrast to the disdain that the adult demons felt toward her, those little fiendish demons were full of fear and respect for their great sage. Yi Qingtang was about to discreetly discard that piece of demon flesh when there was a sudden tremor near the entrance of the camp. The faces of the little fiendish demons instantly turned grim. What's happening? The little fiendish demons instinctively felt that some kind of danger had arrived, and they huddled together in a trembling ball. Yi Qingtang glanced up and saw a massive shadow cast over the entrance. A suffocating aura fell upon the entire camp. It's a soul-devouring beast. one of the fiendish demons cried out. The shadow at the entrance of the camp was like a hovering gigantic storm cloud. On closer inspection, no traces of a monster could be seen. That shadow was just one big mass of dark, muddy swirls, inching bit by bit into the camp. All the vegetation in the path of that mass of dark swirls withered and died, leaving behind a trail of scorched remains. Yi Qingtang was stunned by the sight of that huge mass of dark swirls. The soul-devouring beast was an extremely powerful monster. It didn't have a solid body and was just made up of formless muddy swirls. The more powerful a soul-devouring beast was, the bigger the mass of swirls. Chapter 1772, Great General. 1. All living creatures swallowed by the soul-devouring beast would instantly melt into a bloody liquid and become part of the beast itself. In the blink of an eye, all the monsters outside the camp were engulfed by the soul-devouring beast. Within the opaque black swirls, one could see those huge monsters instantly dissolve into mush, leaving behind bare bones. This was a nearly full-grown soul-devouring beast. Its powers had already surpassed that of an emperor level. Like this, the fiendish demon camp was suddenly faced with a great enemy. Since the soul-devouring beast's body was formless and the sharp claws of the fiendish demons were useless against it. This was the most challenging type of monster for the fiendish demons. There shouldn't be any soul-devouring beasts in this area. When did this beast come over here? The demons couldn't help panicking. They seldom encountered soul-devouring beasts in this area and tried their best to stay out its way. How did this thing suddenly appear over here? All fiendish demons are to immediately evacuate from the entrance. The little fiendish demons are to go back into the cave. Hu's face was very grim. It was a huge challenge to handle a soul-devouring beast. Some of the more powerful fiendish demons had already started attacking the soul-devouring beast, but their sharp claws were totally ineffective against that mighty beast. Part of the soul-devouring beast had already drifted into the camp and some demons who didn't manage to get out of the way in time were engulfed and instantly dissolved. This was the first time Yi Qingtang was seeing a soul-devouring beast up close. It was also the first time she had seen such a huge one. This soul-devouring beast was powerful enough to engulf all the fiendish demons here. Who had assigned some of the demons to go over and stop the soul-devouring beast from advancing further? But the results were negligible. Although the fiendish demons were able to disperse the formless body of the soul-devouring beast with their demon aura, the monster's body would instantly coagulate back again. Just as the body of the soul-devouring beast coagulated once again and it was prepared to move toward a group of demons, a black figure suddenly scurried out from a hill behind the beast. The black figure moved very fast and was impossible to capture. Hovering in mid-air, the black figure suddenly unleashed a tremendous demon aura. It enveloped the soul-devouring beast, causing it to freeze on the spot and go into spasms. The demon aura covering the soul-devouring beast kept compressing. With a loud roar, the beast made a sound like the loud crashing of ocean waves slamming against the cliffs. But no matter how hard the soul-devouring beast struggled or roared, it was unable to escape the constraints of the demon aura. Its body was slowly being condensed and pulled upward into mid-air. Suddenly, the huge beast was being sucked right into the black figure. A strong wind gushed by and Yi Qingtang watched on as the massive soul-devouring beast was quickly being absorbed. If she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, she would have found it hard to believe that there could be anything in this world that could swallow that huge soul-devouring beast. Great General! Cheers erupted from the fiendish demons. Following those cheers, all the demons in the camp immediately fell to their knees. The Great General was the top leader of all of the fiendish demons. Chapter 1773, Great General. 2. Yi Qingtang was momentarily taken aback before quickly following the example of the other fiendish demons and getting down to her knees. She couldn't help sneaking looks at that black figure hovering in midair. At this point, Yi Qingtang finally saw what that black figure actually looked like. It was a tall, strapping fiendish demon. Unlike the other demons, his skin was a boiling lava with faint glowing veins all over. So powerful. That demon was clearly quite a distance away from Yi Qingtang, but he possessed such an intense aura that she could feel it engulfing her entire body. And the demon was already purposely suppressing his own aura. Yi Qingtang knew very well that if the fiendish demon didn't hold back his aura, she would already be torn apart. The powerful fiendish demon gradually landed in the camp. Hu and the rest of the demons gazed at him with awe and respect. "Welcome back, Great General." The Great General surveyed the crowd of demons, and those dusky eyes shone with a sharp, harsh light. A soul-devouring beast would not appear here without any reason. Go and investigate the cause. His voice was low and he had only spoken a simple sentence. But the effect was enough to make one cower and tremble and fear. This was the Great General and the most powerful fiendish demon in this camp. Yi Qingtang was completely awestruck. If she was right, the Great General had simply swallowed that soul-devouring beast. That massive soul-devouring beast. The thought made Yi Qingtang break out in cold sweat. She discreetly shuffled behind a group of demons to hide. It was hard to ascertain whether the Great General would be fooled by her disguise. He was too powerful. More powerful than any other demon that Yi Qingtang had met. Even the Ice King which Yi Qingtang had encountered when she first entered the mystic realm was not as powerful as this fiendish demon. But the Great General's attention was entirely focused on the sudden appearance of that soul-devouring beast. The active territory of the soul-devouring beasts was very far away from their camp. No soul-devouring beast had ever ventured over to their camp before. The appearance of this soul-devouring beast was no coincidence. The various fiendish demon factions enslaved quite a number of monsters. As the battles intensified among the different camps, this soul-devouring beast might have been a war beast enslaved by one of the other enemy factions and unleashed upon them. Demons from an opposing faction had been able to sneak into their territory, anything was possible. The fiendish demons immediately acted on his command. The Great General didn't say another word. He just flew into the pitch-black cave. After he left, the heavy aura covering the entire camp finally faded away after he left. Some of the little fiendish demons looked very pallid. For them, the Great General's aura was unbearable. The kind of overwhelming and instinctive fear one felt toward a powerful being was a torture to them. Great General, is so powerful, one of the little fiendish demons stood up, still trembling. It had nearly fainted from the Great General's oppressive aura. Yi Qingtang secretly heaved a sigh of relief. She had lived for 300 years in her previous life and knew how to lessen the impact of a powerful aura. Otherwise, she would have suffered even more than these little fiendish demons. Chapter 1774, Great General, 3, Of course the Great General is most powerful. Another little fiendish demon spoke up in a voice full of respect. It is truly a terrifying experience to feel the Great General's power. He can smash me with just one finger. Fear still lingered in the hearts of the bunch of little fiendish demons. It was a rare occasion for them to meet the Great General. As they had just been born, this was actually the first time they were meeting him. Look at how weak you all are. You'd better grow up soon. Otherwise, you will just faint dead away when you meet demons from the Heavenly Demon Tribe, the Emperor Demon Tribe and the Earth Demon Tribe, Ba commented disdainfully when he noticed the frightened faces of the little fiendish demons. Are you talking about the three major demon tribes? One of the little fiendish demons asked. Ba nodded. You little punks are in camp all day long, you don't know just how dangerous things are outside. The enemy factions we are battling now are nothing compared to those three major tribes. I think you will be scared to death just by looking at them. Yi Qingtang's attention was instantly attracted at the mention of those three major tribes. There were countless fiendish demon factions in this mountain valley. Amongst them, there were three of the most powerful camps. They sat right at the top, suppressing the rest of the demons like three huge mountains. These three big factions represented absolute power. They were the mightiest tribes amongst the entire fiendish demon population. They were the Heavenly Demon Tribe, the Earth Demon Tribe and the Emperor Demon Tribe. Yi Qingtang had heard other fiendish demons mention these three tribes, but had never seen a single demon from either of those tribes before. It was rumored that the appearance of the fiendish demons from these tribes was different from the rest. Their abilities were powerful beyond belief. As fierce as the battles were amongst the different demon factions now, just one puff from either one of the major tribes would be enough to shake the entire valley. Demons from the other camps would never dare to provoke the big three tribes. If they happened to chance upon any one of them, they would try their best to avoid and hide. The eastern camp, where Yi Qingtang was currently situated, was totally insignificant when compared to those three. Having witnessed the ability of the eastern camp's great general, Yi Qingtang found it difficult to imagine just how powerful those three top tribes were. The great general's powers were already beyond her comprehension. How much more terrifying would those three elite tribes be? Yi Qingtang's scalp tingled just at the thought of it. Nevertheless, the war between the fiendish demons was meaningless to her. If not for her lack of opportunity, she would have already escaped far away. After several days of investigation, they finally uncovered the origins of that soul-devouring beast. As expected, the appearance of that soul-devouring beast was no coincidence. The beast was the war pet of the Western Great General, and had been specially sent over to the Eastern camp to cause maximum destruction. The Eastern fiendish demons were jumping with rage when they found out it was a ploy by their arch-nemesis. A huge battle ignited between the two camps, rising to a feverish pitch in just half a month. Apart from the little fiendish demons, all other demons, even those weaklings like Yi Qingtang, had been summoned to the front line of the battle. Chapter 1775, The Battle Between the Top Three. 1. The battle between the fiendish demons was not something that Yi Qingtang could participate in. Even if she was brought to the battlegrounds, she and a few other weaker demons were positioned at the back to prevent the enemy from sneaking an attack from the behind. The demon wars continued endlessly across the wide valley. The grudge between the eastern and western demons had been brewing for a long time, and it felt like they were going to settle it once and for all now. Those western scumbags brought over 8 war beasts. Damn them! We will fight them to the death. Ba wiped off the fresh blood from his face and roared at the battlefield before charging straight into it. Yi Qingtang cast a sweeping glance across the bloody battlefield. Countless demon corpses were strewn across the valley, and the thick, evil stench permeated the entire area. It was like a scene from hell. The fighting was so intense that the fiendish demons didn't even have time to devour their enemies' corpses. Countless roars echoed through the valley. Yi Qingtang could see those 18 gigantic war beasts from afar. They charged about the battlefield in a frenzy. They think they can turn the tables with just a few war beasts. A cold voice suddenly piped up from amongst the fiendish demons. The Eastern camp's great general raised his hand and sent out several blasts of demon aura, instantly blowing up those war beasts into pieces. The fiendish demons in the Eastern camp roared in jubilation as the blood of the war beasts rained down upon them. The great general has made his attack. Look at those Western fools. Let's see if they can continue acting so smug. The Eastern fiendish demons were all pumped up with adrenaline at the sight of their great general. For this particular battle, not only was Yi Qingtang brought over, even the little fiendish demons had also tagged along. The fighting between the two factions had risen to a feverish pitch. It seemed that the appearance of the Eastern Great General triggered a rush of excitement and activity. But a powerful aura suddenly appeared above the battleground. The Eastern Great General raised his head and saw a black figure charging straight at him. In the next second, an intense rush of black aura was emitted from the Eastern Great General's body to meet the incoming figure. With an immense boom, powerful shock waves radiated out in all directions. Two figures could be seen standing head-to-head in midair. On one side was the Eastern Great General. On the other side was a burly fiendish demon. That is, the Great General of the Western camp. One of the little fiendish demons beside Yi Qingtang spoke up in shock at the sight of that other figure. It was the clash between the Eastern and Western Great Generals. It was inevitable that it would be a battle to the bitter end. The atmosphere of the entire battleground instantly became very tense the moment those two great generals appeared. It was the first time Yi Qingtang was witnessing a battle between two elite fiendish demons. Just the shockwaves resulting from the clashes between those two was enough to send the other demons on the battlefield flying. At this moment, Yi Qingtang was secretly rejoicing at the fact that she didn't bring Little White Tiger and Little Heavenly Demon along with her. The amount of power exchanged as the two great generals fought was far beyond what Yi Qingtang could ever imagine. But just as both sides were engaged in an intensely fierce battle, the bright clear sounds of a blowing horn echoed through the valley. The tone was low, but the ears of every single demon in the valley instantly pricked up. Like death's knell, the roar of thunder was so tremendous that their chests felt like it had been blown apart. Chapter 1776, The Battle Between the Top 3, 2, What is that? Several little fiendish demons beside Yi Qingtang shivered in fear at the sound of the horn. The two great generals also immediately stopped fighting the moment they heard the blaring noise. They appeared apprehensive and looked like they were listening out for something. Hovering in midair, they didn't seem to have any intention of continuing their fight. "It's the call of the Heavenly Demon Tribe," the Eastern Great General's expression shifted. As powerful as he was, he couldn't help shuddering at the sound of that horn. The Emperor Demon Tribe and the Earth Demon Tribe, they also sounded their signals today. The Western Great General's face was likewise very grim. There were over a dozen fiendish demon camps in this valley. The Eastern and Western camps had their long-running grudge. The other factions also had their own conflicts. As a result, the battles between the various camps never ceased. But the three top fiendish demon tribes rarely appeared in this part of the mountain valley. They were the Heavenly Demon Tribe, the Emperor Demon Tribe and the Earth Demon Tribe. It was not that these three major tribes were peace-loving and benevolent. It was because within this valley, any fiendish demon faction who went against any one of the top three had already been instantly decimated. None of the remaining demon camps would dare to provoke the big three tribes. It was a death wish to go against any one of them. The two great generals exchanged a look and understood what each was thinking. They immediately descended to the ground, back at their own factions. "We will postpone the settlement of this grudge between you and I." The appearance of all three major tribes at the same time is something out of the ordinary. "I am afraid it means, the deity Ocean will be emerging soon," the Western Great General spoke in a cold voice. The Eastern Great General also didn't intend to continue fighting. No grudge was more important than the deity Ocean. The two demon camps, which had been fighting so ferociously just a second earlier, immediately dispersed. Led by their respective great generals, they headed towards the source of the blaring horns. Yi Qingtang followed the crowd of fiendish demons, but her heart was full of uncertainty. We will get to see something exciting later. The congregation of the three top tribes. When else would we get an opportunity like this? Ba murmured to himself as he hurried along. What do you mean? Yi Qingtang glanced at Ba. What else can I mean? We are nothing to the three big tribes. Have you ever seen any demons from those three in this part of the valley before? The rest of us may be fighting tooth and nail for territory here, but the three top tribes don't care for this place at all. They simply can't be bothered about us. Why else do you think we can still conduct our battles here? The truly premium territories in the valley have already been fully occupied by the big three. The corners of Bas' lips curled up in a sneer. Nevertheless, his words were still full of awe and respect for the three elite demon tribes. In the eyes of the top 3 tribes, the rest of the demon factions were just tiny, insignificant squabbling kids. Completely not worth their time or attention. The 3 big demon tribes seldom appear in this part of the valley. Now that all 3 signals have been sounded, they are summoning all the demons under their camps. Something big must be happening. Ba narrowed his eyes. Apart from the deity ocean, I really cannot imagine what else can trigger all 3 tribes at the same time, who spoke up in a low voice from the side. Chapter 1777, The Battle Between the Top 3, 3. The appearance of all 3 major demon tribes can only mean one thing: the deity ocean. Weren't there rumors that the deity ocean would emerge sometime within these 2 years? I think, it could be any time now, who said. Yi Qingtang looked at the large crowds of fiendish demons surging toward the source of those blaring horns. The demons from the eastern and western factions weren't the only ones. On the way there, countless demons from the other camps were also all heading in the same direction. Some of those demons appeared injured, and were very likely in the middle of a battle just now. However, just the sound of those blaring horns of the big 3 demon tribes were enough to make everyone stop their fighting and head in the same direction. Following the demons, Yi Qingtang soon arrived at an opening within the valley. But the entire congregation suddenly stopped right before they entered the opening. The demon standing right at the front took in deep breaths in unison. Yi Qingtang was standing right at the back and couldn't see what was happening up front. But she could already feel the suffocating aura that radiated from that opening. Although she was still quite a distance away, that pressurizing aura engulfed Yi Qingtang's entire body. Within seconds, her face had turned pallid. She could feel that there was some extremely powerful creature at the front. Yi Qingtang didn't even dare to reach out her senses to probe. Instinct told her that whatever creature it was definitely not something she could afford to provoke. Yi Qingtang was not the only one. The little fiendish demons were also in agony. Even their breathing had become extremely labored. Several roads led to this opening and fiendish demons from all the various factions had all gathered here, but none of them dared to step into the opening. Their faces were full of anxious trepidation. Ba squeezed to the front of the crowd, dragging Yi Qingtang and Hu along. At this point, Yi Qingtang finally saw what was beyond the opening. Tens of thousands of fiendish demons were gathered there, all lined up into 3 neat factions. Every single one of them possessed a powerful and intense aura. Each demon was also riding upon a ferocious war beast. Amongst them, the presence of 3 massive beasts stood out. Sky-raising giant pythons. Ba couldn't help shuddering as he gazed at those massive pythons. Hundreds of meters long and over a dozen meters wide, the pythons were also clad in black armored scales. The sky-raising giant python was an exceptionally ferocious beast. It had thick skin, tough flesh, lightning speed and was covered in venom all over. Fiendish demons were immune to most venoms. The types of poisons used by humans were like candy to the demons. But fiendish demons had zero immunity toward the venom of a sky-raising giant python. On top of that, this beast loved to eat fiendish demons and often hunted them as prey. Even the more powerful fiendish demons would go out of their way to avoid sky-raising giant pythons. But right now, standing upon the head of one of those sky-raising giant pythons was a skinny, hunchbacked fiendish demon. Chapter 1778, First Move, 1. The demon's face was very ugly and had a pair of horns growing out of his forehead. He looked exactly like your typical evil demon and was slightly smaller in size than Yi Qingtang. Hands clasped behind his back, he stood on top of a sky-raising giant python, which was completely docile beneath his feet. That's the great general of the Earth Demon tribe. Ba shivered controllably when he noticed that ugly horned demon. The demons of the Earth Demon tribe all had horns growing out of their foreheads. It was a symbol of their strength. Countless fiendish demons patrolled around the sky-raising giant python. All of them indeed possessed long sharp horns on their foreheads. Yi Qingtang's eyes were full of wonder as she looked at them. This was the first time in her life she had seen demons with horns on their heads. The great general of the Earth Demon tribe is indeed powerful. He can make an adult sky-raising giant python his steed. Ba swallowed hard. As arrogant as Ba was, he couldn't suppress the fear and awe he felt at the sight of that great general. Sky-raising giant python. Look at the steed of the heavenly demon tribe's great general. Who lifted his chin with arms still crossed. Ba glanced over and gasped. A massive flaming ape was standing amongst the demons. That huge ape was very muscular with skin as tough as rock. Swirls of burning lava flowed upon its skin, circling its entire body. Meanwhile, the flaming ape was holding a tall, slender demon with grayish-white skin in the palm of its hand. That fiendish demon didn't look that different from the other demons, but his malevolent face somehow exuded a serene vibe. Aside from the heavenly demon tribe's flaming ape and the earth demon tribe's sky-raising giant python, the steed of the emperor demon tribe's great general was also very exceptional. It was a three-headed wind snake that could hover in midair. Ice blue in color, it looked different from the other wind snakes as it was probably a mutated version. The tremendous power of the three major demon tribes were on full display. Just the sight of those three steeds was enough to make the other demon camps tremble in fear. All of those steeds were notorious beasts feared by all fiendish demons. Any one of them could easily destroy thousands of demons. But at this point, those massive beasts were subservient to the three great generals. The disparity in strength was astounding. Yi Qingtang looked at the three great generals. Even though she was some distance away, she could already feel their powerful aura. She subconsciously turned toward the eastern great general. That mighty fiendish demon, which previously had Yi Qingtang quivering in fear, looked uncharacteristically wary after seeing the three major tribes. Yi Qingtang noticed that the eastern great general wasn't the only one. The other great generals had also gathered here, but none of them dared to step into the territory of the big three. They all maintained a respectful distance. By now, all the fiendish demons had now gathered. But the great generals of the elite tribes seemed to be oblivious to the fact that their horn signals had summoned all the demons from the other camps. They only observed the presence of their other two major counterparts, as if the demons from the rest of the camps were not even worth a sideways glance. Don't tell me, the deity ocean is really going to appear now? Ba asked quietly. The gathering of the three top tribes, added to the fact that they had summoned all the demons under them, such a grand gesture meant that something significant was about to happen. Yi Qingtang couldn't help frowning. She had learned about the existence of the deity ocean from other fiendish demons. She also knew the huge attraction it had to all fiendish demons. Chapter 1779, First Move, 2. If Ba had guessed correctly, the appearance of the three major tribes was connected to the deity ocean. The other demon camps must have also realized this, and so had all gathered here at the sound of their horn signals. So many have gathered here today. The great general of the earth demon tribe crossed his arms behind his back. Those murky eyes swept across the sea of demons, a chilly glint surfacing in his pupils. All the fiendish demons who caught his gaze couldn't help shuddering. Greetings, great generals. We have not seen you three for a long time. We specially came after hearing the horn signals. One of the great generals from the other camps stepped forward with an amiable smile. He spoke very carefully. Humph. The earth demon tribe's great general snorted before turning away. He had no regard at all for the other demons. He had been addressing the heavenly demon tribe and the emperor demon tribe only. The great general who spoke up broke out in cold sweat after being dismissed by the earth demon tribe's great general. In all other situations, they would be giving wide berth to these three top tribes if they happened to encounter them. But as the deity ocean was at stake, even those subpar camps couldn't help feeling drawn to this place. A legend passed down over tens of thousands of years, the desire to be the king of demons, this was enough to trigger the ambitions of any fiendish demon. The great generals from the three top tribes clearly had no regard for the other camps. They just stood there quietly, as if waiting for a particular time. The demons from the other camps were naturally terrified. But seeing that the three main tribes appeared to be waiting for something, they also followed suit. What are they doing? Ba was feeling uncertain. Hu replied in a low voice, the great generals of the three big tribes are all standing here without any movement, they must be waiting for something to happen. Didn't you see all the demons who have gathered here? I am pretty sure the deity Ocean will be making an appearance. The big three have a better understanding of the deity Ocean than the rest of us. Then, is the great general preparing to make a move for the deity Ocean? Ba whispered discreetly. So many great generals were gathered here with no intention to leave. Could all of them be plotting to snatch the deity Ocean right from under the noses of those three main tribes? Make a guess. Hu shot Ba a look. Anyone who manages to obtain the deity Ocean will become king. Which great general would let such an opportunity slip by? Aren't they afraid that the top three tribes will clear them out? Clear them out? Who is going to do it? The other two tribes will be the ones to benefit. Anyway, do you think they are bothered by us at all? Hu sneered. Ba quietened down and glanced at their own great general. As expected, his sharp eyes were fixed upon the three top tribes. Yi Qingtang's heart sank on hearing the conversation between Ba and Hu. Previously, she had already felt that something was not quite right. But now, her suspicions had been confirmed. The Eastern Great General was determined to snatch that deity Ocean away. But could it be that simple to snatch the deity Ocean? Yi Qingtang surveyed the sea of demons. There were countless fiendish demons here and they all had the same goal. To snatch that deity Ocean for themselves. The number of demons gathered here was already mind-boggling. On top of that, the power exuded by those top three tribes was enough to make one's scalp go numb. Wasn't it a death wish to try and fight the big three for the deity Ocean? Chapter 1780, First Move, 3, It was a gamble with the chances of winning less than 1 out of 100,000. Yi Qingtang felt that these fiendish demons had all gone mad. Although she had yet to see the three major tribes make a move, Yi Qingtang could clearly feel the immense power they exuded. Moreover, they also had the upper hand in terms of numbers. The moment the trigger was pulled, it would be total Armageddon. Great Sage, what is this deity Ocean? One of the little fiendish demons tugged at the corner of Yi Qingtang's sleeve. The little fiendish demons seldom ventured out of the camp and didn't know much of the wide world beyond. Yi Qingtang couldn't help furrowing her brows slightly as she looked at the group of little fiendish demons who had been tagging along by her side daily. All the fiendish demons from every camp would be fighting to the death for the deity Ocean. Even these little fiendish demons would be dragged into the frenzy. Yi Qingtang had not been at the eastern camp for long and she seldom left the campsite due to her weak powers. She spent most of her time hanging around the entrance of the cave. Perhaps because of Yi Qingtang's gentle character, the little fiendish demons were exceptionally close to her and they trailed after her all day long. Meanwhile, although the other adult demons scorned Yi Qingtang for her weak abilities, they would always include her share when distributing the spoils of war. It was impossible not to grow fond of them. Yi Qingtang could already predict how dire the consequences of the fight for the deity Ocean would be. If possible, she didn't want to participate in this suicidal battle. She didn't want the eastern demons to join in either. But what could she do? Yi Qingtang's heart sank a little as she watched the raging ambition concealed within the Eastern Great General's heart. Great General, the little fiendish demons look rather ill. Why don't we send them back first? Yi Qingtang tried to speak up. The Eastern Great General didn't even turn his head. No one is allowed to leave from this moment on. It was a command that sentenced everyone to death. It was clear that the Eastern Great General was prepared to go all out for the deity ocean. Even the little fiendish demons would be a source of power during the great battle. Every little bit counted in the fight for the deity ocean. Yi Qingtang's heart sank further. Watching those naive little fiendish demons and then at the now familiar faces of Ba and Hu, Yi Qingtang really didn't want to see them sent to their deaths. But the great general had the final say in everything. Yi Qingtang could speak till her saliva ran dry and nothing would change. Time passed very slowly. The three major tribes remained unmoving, and the other camps had no choice but to wait at the side. All the fiendish demons were waiting for that one moment which had been immortalized in the legends. Time drifted on. Day turned to night, before turning to day again. The sea of demons in the mountain valley remained exactly where they were. An unprecedented sense of peace and quiet descended over the valley. A strong gust of wind suddenly blew by, the whistling air shattering the calm of the night. The murky eyes of the Earth Demon tribe's great general had been closed, but they were now wide open. Narrowing them, he gazed up into the empty sky, a sharp glint in his pupils. It's here. Under the howling winds and shaking earth, a great fog swirled above the heads of the three elite tribes. A bizarre ancient chanting seemed to echo down from the heavens. The chanting was faint and could barely be heard above the raging winds. In the next second, a powerful beam of light shone down from the sky onto an empty space in midair. As if something was being split open, a chasm appeared right at that highlighted spot. Chapter 1781, Blood Battle, 1. The chasm grew wider bit by bit right before the eyes of the fiendish demons. It was pitch black inside the chasm, from which a bone-chilling wind blew out. The eyes of the great generals from the big three tribes instantly lit up. The sealed space was finally opening. Their highly coveted deity ocean was right inside. At this point, the three elite tribes were not the only ones who were excited. The ambitions of all the other camps were also ignited. The sealed space is opening now. The deity ocean is right inside. Someone suddenly shouted out. The originally quiet demon crowd suddenly charged toward the opening of the sealed space. But before they could get anywhere near it, the fiendish demons of the three major tribes had already made their move. It looks like we are not the only ones who are interested in the deity ocean. The great general of the Earth Demon tribe narrowed his eyes with a smirk. Those weaklings. The great general of the heavenly demon tribe snorted coldly, his eyes filled with disdain. Now that the sealed space has opened and the deity ocean is just within, the number of competitors and variables will increase exponentially. I wonder what do the two of you think of that? The great general of the Emperor Demon tribe asked. They ignored the other camps earlier as they meant nothing to them. But now that the deity ocean had appeared, the three great generals noticed that the other camps were all gearing up to fight for the treasure. They will have to prove themselves worthy of fighting for the deity ocean. Why don't the three of us leave behind a certain number of troops to prevent those weaklings from disrupting our quest? The great general of the Earth Demon tribe suggested. The other two great generals nodded in agreement. In just a short period of time, each of the three major tribes split into two groups. One team was to stay behind while the other team would enter the sealed space. The former would be in charge of preventing the other demon camps from entering the sealed space. The three major powers were collaborating only for the sake of obtaining the deity ocean for themselves. Crowds of fiendish demons charged toward the open space. The fiendish demons left behind to guard the sealed space formed an impenetrable barrier. Meanwhile, the great general's three steeds had also been left outside. Roar! The flaming ape howled. Raising one arm, it smacked a bunch of fiendish demons in front of it, crushing them to a pulp. The thick smell of blood permeated the air. The rest of the demons were all momentarily taken aback by the bloody massacre. Meanwhile, the great generals of the three top tribes had already entered the sealed space with part of their troops. "We will kill whoever dares to take another step forward," one of the fiendish demons from the Earth Demon tribe warned in a low voice. The authority that the three elite tribes had over the rest of the demons still lingered on. For a moment, a sliver of doubt appeared in the faces of those zealous fiendish demons. The three big tribes have already ruled this valley for so many years. Every demon camp should be allowed an opportunity to obtain the deity ocean. With the deity ocean in hand, we won't need to fear you guys anymore. Someone cried out. His words penetrated deep into the hearts of every fiendish demon. Although the three elite tribes were powerful, the desperate desire for the deity ocean was also a persuasive force. They were no match for the three major tribes now, but they would become the king of fiendish demons if they obtained the deity ocean. By then, the three top tribes would be like tiny ants under their feet. Chapter 1782, Blood Battle, 2, You Want the Deity Ocean? Stop dreaming. Danger and benefit existed side by side. After just a brief hesitation, all the fiendish demons charged toward the defending line under the command of their great generals. The battle rose to a feverish pitch within seconds. Countless fiendish demons clashed as they fought tooth and nail to the death. The various camps who had been at each other's throats for centuries now fought as one against the same opponent. Every single faction wanted to obtain the deity ocean. The three big tribes were standing in their way, and so had turned into their common enemy. Large swarms of fiendish demons entered the battlefield. Fresh blood splattered all over as endless roars and howls filled the air. Yi Qingtang's heart sank as she watched the scene unfold before her. The thing she feared most was happening. The powers of the three elite tribes were far beyond that of the other camps. Even with their advantage in numbers, it would be an outright massacre for the other camps. Yi Qingtang witnessed the flaming ape smash over dozen fiendish demons to death with just one punch. But their deaths did not stop the other demons from advancing. Before the flaming ape could raise its hand again, another batch of fiendish demons launched forward. The continuous barrage of fiendish demons were like an endless swarm of locusts. The fiendish demons from the three major tribes were also very powerful. Their sharp claws easily tore apart the demons from the other camps. In just the blink of an eye, the vast grounds were soaked with fresh demon blood. The thick stench of blood saturated the air, reaching into all corners of the area. The fiendish demons from the three elite tribes were in a killing frenzy. They never expected those worthless weaklings, who usually avoided them, would dare to attack them like this. Without a doubt, the powers of those from the top three tribes were much higher than the other demons. Just one of the former was enough to kill at least 10 of the latter. But more and more fiendish demons charged forward with no regard for their lives. The deity ocean was just too important to them. If they could obtain it, their camp could dominate all the other factions, including the top three tribes. They could become the true lords ruling over everyone. As the battle went on, even those little fiendish demons were influenced by the bloodlust. They bared their sharp teeth and pounced toward the demons from the three elite faces. But how could their tiny, weak bodies withstand the might of the big three? They were all crushed to death within seconds. A demon battle was different from that between humans. It was pure, basic savagery and brutality. At this point, Yi Qingtang could no longer see any familiar faces. All the demons from the various camps had merged into one sprawling mass. There was violence and killing everywhere. Countless fiendish demons collapsed in battle. In just a short period of time, the number of fatalities from all the camps had reached astounding figures. Only the three elite tribes sustained minimal casualties. Their powerful abilities were a barrier that was too wide to be breached. Even so, the large number of deaths was not enough to curb the ambitions of the various factions. As the demons at the front fell, more demons would charge forward from the back. They would sacrifice countless lives just to break through the defensive line. As powerful as the top three tribes were, it was inevitable they would start to slow from the fatigue of the endless suicidal onslaught by countless fiendish demons. No matter how powerful a fighter was, he would still gradually become drained by the continuous frenzied attack of an opponent. Chapter 1783, Blood Battle, 3. The battle went on for so long they had already lost track of the time as the battlefield became littered with an endless number of forgotten corpses. The fiendish demons trampled on the bodies of their comrades as they rushed forward, killing everything in their path. After sacrificing countless fiendish demons, the defenses of the three tribes were finally breached. The demons from the different factions and camps instantly went on a slaughtering spree. Yi Qingtang was going to use this chaos to escape, but before she could do so, a blood-soaked Ba grabbed her and rushed towards the open sealed space along with most of the demons. "What are you standing there for? Get in!" Ba reproached her. Yi Qingtang was speechless. Couldn't he just spare her? She had no intention of taking part in the demons' battles and had absolutely no interest in the deity ocean. But the demon's power was not something Yi Qingtang could go against, and without giving her a chance to protest, Ba dragged her straight towards the sealed space. The rough and tumble felt as though she was about to be thrown off. It was like another world inside the sealed space. It was pitch black inside and the whistling cold wind blew at them relentlessly, carrying with it the thick stench of blood. There had obviously already been a battle inside this sealed space. The three tribes that had entered the sealed space were going to start battling inside again. Demons from the other factions flooded in, frantically searching for the location of the deity ocean. As Yi Qingtang followed Ba, she spotted Hu among the crowd of demons. Hu's human skin had already been torn in the battle and his hands had sustained deep wounds as well. He looked slightly pathetic. "The great general has already said that we have to obtain the deity ocean this time, or all the demons in our camp are going to die." To rebel against the elite three tribes was to openly declare battle to the death with them. The three tribes were going to seek their revenge if they didn't obtain the deity ocean. How could they possibly be a match for the three elite tribes? Yi Qingtang could only think about using this opportunity to escape from the sealed space, but at that moment, the entrance was filled with countless demons flooding in. There was no way she could leave. That's the deity ocean. Just as Yi Qingtang was thinking about a way to get out of her predicament, a shout came from in front of him. Almost immediately, Ba and Hu dragged Yi Qingtang straight towards the noise. In the void above the mountain peak in front of them, a light shone through the originally dark sky. The shining blue lights were slowly forming into a line. In that instant, the scattered lights suddenly gathered together and formed a bright moon which hung over all the demons' heads. The deity ocean had been formed. Yi Qingtang's heart trembled as she looked at the bright blue orb from afar. The deity ocean seemed to emanate an aura so strong it affected all the demons. The demons from the three elite tribes on the mountain peak had already occupied the vital positions. Their expressions twisted as they looked at the other demons flooding the base of the mountain. The three elite tribes had never imagined that these useless troops would be able to breach their defenses. Now that the deity ocean was right in front of them, how could they possibly let these other demons even touch it? Chapter 1784, Deity Ocean, 1. The demons all looked in awe at the deity ocean suspended in midair. The deity ocean seemed to have an extremely mesmerizing effect on them. As they stood frozen, their eyes were all locked on the deity ocean. That's the deity ocean. It's my first time seeing it, the demons were all awestruck. The great generals of the three elite tribes seemed to be unnaturally calm as well. They raised their eyebrows as they looked at the deity ocean hanging in the sky and didn't take a single step forward. The deity ocean was hanging right over their heads this moment, but at the same time, they understood that they were not going to be able to obtain it. The last time the sealed space opened, there had been mass slaughter as well as they tried to obtain the deity ocean. Even though it was right over their head, no matter how hard they flew towards it, they couldn't even touch it. At the peak of the mountain was the deity altar, and it was recorded there that the only way they could get to the deity ocean was if it descended on the deity altar. Otherwise, they could only look up at it and wouldn't be able to touch it at all. This was also the reason the deity ocean hadn't been obtained for hundreds of thousands of years. This time, the three elite tribes were all still holding out hope that the deity ocean would descend, but it hadn't shown any signs of doing so up till now. Could it be that they were going to return empty-handed again? Yi Qingtang hid herself among the demons as she looked up at the deity ocean in the sky, her eyes filled with blue light. But just as Yi Qingtang was about to look away, the deity ocean flashed brightly. Yi Qingtang felt something shudder in her and she suddenly paled. At the same time, the deity ocean which had been in the sky for hundreds of thousands of years suddenly changed. Right in front of all the demons' eyes, the light from the deity ocean dimmed and moved slowly towards the deity altar. The deity ocean is descending. The great general of the earth demon tribe widened his eyes in disbelief as he looked at the descending deity ocean. This was the first time in hundreds of thousands of years that the deity ocean was descending. As long as the deity ocean landed on the deity altar, they would be able to obtain it. Great joy washed over all the demons. After hundreds of thousands of years, they were finally witnessing a miracle. Yi Qingtang had no idea what was happening but suddenly felt a wave of coldness invade her, piercing straight into her bone. Like this, the sight of the deity ocean descending had been pierced into the eyes of all the demons. Under the blue light of the deity ocean, one of the great generals flew straight at it, wanting to go straight to the deity ocean. But the moment he reached the mountain peak, the eyes of the great general from the earth demon tribe sharpened and a ray of cold light shot out from his palm, decimating the other great general in midair. I'm not going to show any mercy to anyone who dares to go near the deity ocean. How dare they go near the deity ocean with their lowly status? It was already an honor for them to witness the deity ocean being formed. Even though the stench of death permeated the air, the blob of decimated flesh in the air did nothing to deter the demons' greed. The deity ocean was right in front of them. That great power was just within reach. As long as they had the deity ocean, they would rule over everything. There was a sudden uproar among all the demons. They no longer feared the threats of the three elite tribes, and their eyes were transfixed, filled only with the sight of the deity ocean. Chapter 1785, Deity Ocean, 2. Seeing the deity ocean descend gradually onto the altar, the demons all rushed maniacally towards the mountain peak. The demons from the three elite tribes dealt with the demons swarming up the mountain swiftly and without any mercy, not letting them near the deity altar at all. And at the same moment, the great generals from the three elite tribes made their moves as well. The great general from the earth demon tribe was the most sly and he flew straight towards the deity altar immediately. Seeing that they had already lost their first chance to move, the great generals from the heavenly demon tribe and the earth demon tribe quickly flew up and chased after the great general from the earth demon tribe. Lights converged in their palms and they shot it straight towards the great general from the earth demon tribe. The entire mountain fell into chaos in an instant. The demons were all trying their best to get up the mountain as the great generals from the three elite tribes battled to the death. Loud roars surrounded them as the fresh blood from countless demons gradually dyed the mountain a strange color. The cold gradually faded from Yi Qingtang's body. She was lucky that the demons had all been focused on the deity ocean mountain, or one blow from any of them would have killed her when she had been stunned just now. Yi Qingtang took a deep breath. But looking at the bodies of the demons piling up on the mountain, a chill went down her spine. She had no interest in the deity ocean or battling with the demons. All she could do now was to leave the battlefield and look for a safe place to hide temporarily. The great generals on the mountain peak were having a fierce battle that shook the skies. It seemed as though the mountain peak was going to be flattened by them. As they were trading blows, the deity ocean finally descended onto the deity altar. The moment the blue light landed upon it, there was a bright flash of light which blinded all the demons. Taking advantage of the blinding light, the great general from the heavenly demon tribe gathered all his energy under his feet and shot towards where he remembered the deity altar to be. In an instant, the great general of the heavenly demon tribe had touched the deity altar. He reached out and scooped the deity ocean into his arms. The bright light faded as soon as the deity ocean was taken off the deity altar. After the earth demon tribe and the emperor demon tribe had gathered their wits, all they saw was the great general of the heavenly demon tribe standing beside the deity altar with the deity ocean of their dreams in his arms. The two great generals shuddered. Ha ha ha. It's the deity ocean. I've finally obtained the deity ocean. The eyes of the great general from the heavenly demon tribe lit up with greed. He could already feel the strong power emanating from the deity ocean in his arms. The two great generals were about to snatch it from him, but the heavenly demon tribe great general suddenly narrowed his eyes and pressed the deity ocean into his chest. It's been hundreds of thousands of years, I've waited for this day for hundreds of thousands of years. The power of the deity ocean belongs to me. All of you will name me the emperor. In the next second, the heavenly demon tribe great general let out a deep roar. Black mist poured continuously out of his hands. He was going to absorb the power he had waited for hundreds of thousands of years into his body. Not good, he's about to absorb the power of the deity ocean. The great general of the earth demon tribe felt his hairs stand on end. If the great general of the heavenly demon tribe managed to succeed, they would be annihilated tomorrow. In the next moment, the great general of the earth demon tribe and heavenly demon tribe flew towards the great general of the heavenly demon tribe and directed their blows to his back. But in an instant, the heavenly demon tribe great general was surrounded by blue light. Chapter 1786, Deity Ocean, 3. The blue light formed a protective screen around him and the attack from the two great generals did absolutely no damage to it. All the attacks were absorbed by the blue screen. Huh, the deity ocean is really amazing. Don't worry, once I've absorbed all the power, it'll send you to hell immediately. The heavenly demon tribe great general looked at the screen surrounding him as his eagerness in obtaining the deity ocean rose. Just the light from the deity ocean was already giving him so much power. Once he absorbed all of its power, he would be their absolute king. The expressions of the great generals of the earth demon tribe and the earth demon tribe were extremely dark. Under the protection of the deity ocean, they couldn't do anything to the heavenly demon tribe great general. On the mountain peak, the demons from the heavenly demon tribe all roared as they saw that their great general was about to merge with the deity ocean. The demons from the other tribes panicked as they saw this. They were a step too late again. But just as the heavenly demon tribe great general was about to absorb the deity ocean proudly, the deity ocean pressed against his chest emanated a powerful wave. The heavenly demon tribe great general was pushed back by the wave. All of the strands of power he had absorbed from the deity ocean dissipated as well. What? The heavenly demon tribe great general looked down at the deity ocean in his hands in disbelief. He couldn't absorb the power of the deity ocean. He couldn't believe it and tried again, but the rejection was even stronger this time and the heavenly demon tribe great general spat out a mouthful of blood. The protective screen around him vanished. How could this be? Why couldn't he absorb the power of the deity ocean? The two generals who had already begun to despair suddenly brightened. They rushed towards the heavenly demon tribe great general again. The deity ocean doesn't want to be used by you. Don't even dream of using its power. The great general laughed coldly as he hit the heavenly demon tribe great general on the shoulder. Enraged, the heavenly demon tribe great general returned blows, swift and hard. Caught up in the scuffle, the deity ocean in his hand fell towards the mountain peak. Seeing the deity ocean belonged to no one again, the demons under the mountain peak all surged towards it frantically. Get that deity ocean back, the earth demon tribe great general roared as he flew towards the deity ocean. The great general of the heavenly demon tribe and emperor demon tribe didn't want to lose this opportunity as well and rushed towards the deity ocean. Once again, the mountain fell into chaos as all the demons coveted the deity ocean. The battle which had stopped temporarily restarted even bloodier and crazier. As the deity ocean fell towards the chaos, who jumped nimbly over the crowd of demons, grabbed the deity ocean from midair and quickly flew off. The deity ocean is with him. Catch him. The heavenly demon tribe roared loudly after having lost the deity ocean so painfully. When the demons from the eastern camp saw that someone on their side had obtained the deity ocean, they fought every demon that wanted to get it to the death. The heavenly demon tribe great general and other demons flung the resistance aside and chased right after them. Yi Qingtang was hiding safely on the side of the mountain peak. Hearing someone cursing and hollering loudly, she peeked out and saw Hu flying towards her quickly with something in his arms. Chapter 1787, It is all a misunderstanding. 1. Yi Qingtang's eyes widened as she saw the approaching Hu. She could feel that the thing Hu had in his arms was actually the deity ocean. Yi Qingtang felt like her head was about to explode. The three elite tribes were so powerful. Wasn't the eastern camp being too stubborn? How did they dare steal the deity ocean from right under their noses? Even if that were the case, Yi Qingtang knew that all the demons were obsessed with the deity ocean. All the tribes, regardless of their strength, were swarming into battle. But as far as Yi Qingtang was concerned, this gamble was too risky. She had no intention of participating in this battle. With her skill, she would be pretty decent among the youth in the first mainland, but among these emperor-level demons, she was nothing. Yi Qingtang was speechless. She was about to stick her head back in and avoid this deathly situation when Hu, who was running away frantically, spotted her. Hu, who was being chased all the way by the great general of the three elite tribes, was running for his life, but the distance between him and the great generals were closing and his heart was full of panic. But the moment he spotted Yi Qingtang, his eyes lit up slightly and a hint of a smile appeared at the corner of his lips. It was impossible for him to shake off the demons chasing him, but now that he had the deity ocean with him, he wasn't going to give it up so easily. Yi Qingtang's appearance gave him a chance to turn the tables. When she saw his smile, Yi Qingtang felt a sense of foreboding. Before she could even respond, Hu was flying straight toward her hiding place. As Hu flew past her, he sneakily slung the deity ocean towards Yi Qingtang. He moved extremely quickly and this went undetected. After throwing the deity ocean to her, he used his energy to create a trail of blue light mimicking the deity ocean and continued flying. In an instant, countless demons chasing Hu flew by Yi Qingtang. These demons had no idea that Hu had thrown it to Yi Qingtang, who was hiding in the dark, and continued chasing after Hu, thinking that he still had the deity ocean. Yi Qingtang looked on as Hu's sleight of hand fooled the other demons. She turned pale as she looked at the roaring great generals. Once the demons' footsteps had faded, she lowered her head. Wasn't the thing in her arms the deity ocean all the tribes were fighting tooth and nail for? What the hell? How had it gotten into her arms? Yi Qingtang cursed Hu silently in her heart. All she wanted to do was to survive this battle silently. Why did this darn thing have to land in her hands? Recalling Hu's cautious expression before he flew off, he must have meant for her to hide the deity ocean well. Yi Qingtang wanted to cry. This deity ocean was going to be the death of her. She understood how badly the demons wanted the deity ocean, but... Who? You gave this to the wrong person. Yi Qingtang's strength was less than peanuts in the eyes of these demons. She would get caught the moment she left the cave. She could forget about even escaping. At this moment, the deity ocean was like a hot potato. She could neither throw it away nor keep it with her. She wanted to try stuffing the deity ocean into her space ring, but... Chapter 1788, It is all a misunderstanding. 2. it was completely impossible. The deity ocean seemed to possess a tremendous power. Yi Qingtang had just put it in and already felt like her space ring was going to explode. She was so shocked that she quickly took out the deity ocean. Faced with this situation, Yi Qingtang was feeling very distressed. You are a rather clever little ant. You knew to immediately transfer the item away. Luckily, I have already memorized the deity ocean scent. Just as Yi Qingtang was feeling extremely desperate, a cold voice suddenly sounded from somewhere behind her. Yi Qingtang turned and saw the grim face of the heavenly demon race's great general. He was standing nearby, his malevolent eyes narrowed and staring straight at the deity ocean in her hands. Shit! She had been discovered so quickly. And by the great general of the heavenly demon race. In the blink of an eye, Yi Qingtang flew away with the deity ocean in hand. If she had known that who had stolen the deity ocean, she would never have sneaked a peek. Yi Qingtang used all her power to flee as fast as she could. But no matter how fast she flew, she was no match for the great general of the heavenly demon race. In just a few breaths, the great general of the heavenly demon race landed right in front of Yi Qingtang, and Yi Qingtang was forced into an emergency stop. Beads of cold sweat dripped down from Yi Qingtang's forehead. The heavenly demon race's great general appeared emotionless. He was staring at the deity ocean and could clearly feel that Yi Qingtang's powers were far below his. Hand me the deity ocean. It's not something that should be touched by trash like you, the great general of the heavenly demon race stated coldly. Yi Qingtang's back was already drenched in cold sweat. Her heart was pounding heavily as she stared at the great general. Trash. She never wanted to touch this stupid deity ocean in the first place. Although she was offended by the great general's disdainful words, Yi Qingtang still had some common sense. She did not want to throw her own life away just for this deity ocean. Anyway, she was no match at all for this great general. Yi Qingtang immediately handed the deity ocean over. She said respectfully, I have heard many stories about your great powers and have admired you since a long time ago. You are naturally the only one who is worthy enough to own this deity ocean. Humph. The great general of the heavenly demon race snorted in contempt, oblivious toward Yi Qingtang's praises. He only had eyes for the deity ocean. Everything else was insignificant. Good that you have some common sense. Give me the deity ocean and I will let you die in one piece, the heavenly demon race's great general stated arrogantly. It was as if letting her die in one piece was already very magnanimous of him. Shit. I am already handing this thing to you. Why do you still have to kill me? As Yi Qingtang cursed the great general on the inside, she shifted her gaze to the side, all prepared to throw the deity ocean far away in order to divert the great general's attention, so that she had a chance to escape. She believed that compared to killing her, the heavenly demon race's great general would be more interested in getting the deity ocean. Meanwhile, Yi Qingtang was more interested in staying alive. She didn't care about the deity ocean at all. She would leave it to the fiendish demons to fight over it. Just as Yi Qingtang was raising her hand to toss it away, the deity ocean suddenly glowed very intensely. A dazzling beam of light shot right out of the deity ocean and created a large chasm in mid-air, from which a powerful magnetic force could be felt. Chapter 1789, It is all a misunderstanding. 3. Before Yi Qingtang could react, she was sucked right into the chasm with the deity ocean still in hand. As Yi Qingtang scanned the chasm and saw that there was another world beyond it. Could it be? This deity ocean could be used to pass through time and space. It could open up a gateway to another world. Yi Qingtang couldn't help recalling the earlier incident when she tried to place the deity ocean in her space ring. She heaved a big sigh of relief knowing that she was about to escape. Put down the deity ocean now or I will make sure you die a wretched death. The face of the heavenly demon race's great general instantly contorted into one of malevolence when he saw that Yi Qingtang was about to fly into the chasm with the deity ocean. Damn you! You want the deity ocean? Dream on! You will never have the deity ocean. Yi Qingtang finally dared to shout out her true thoughts when she saw that she was about to escape. The great general tried to pursue her but was blocked out by that beam of light. Let her die in one piece. He could stay here on his own. She couldn't care less about him. Do you wish to die? The great general's face was livid at her impudence. He leapt into the air and charged toward Yi Qingtang, furiously striking her with waves of demonic aura. But that power instantly dissipated the moment it made contact with that beam of light. Yi Qingtang, who had been a bit worried, was now incredibly jubilant. Great General of the Heavenly Demon Race. You are very powerful, right? Try your best to hit me. You. The Great General was completely enraged. No fiendish demon had ever dared to behave so audaciously before him. The Heavenly Demon Race's Great General immediately sent a barrage of strikes at Yi Qingtang, but none of them even got close to touching her. Not painful at all, Yi Qingtang piped up smugly. The Great General was nearly puking blood in anger. No matter how he tried to attack, he was unable to hurt the escaping Yi Qingtang. That beam of light was an impenetrable barrier, offering Yi Qingtang complete protection. As angry as the Great General was, he had no choice but to just watch on as Yi Qingtang disappeared into the chasm. The chasm immediately vanished the moment she entered, leaving only empty air in its wake. After entering the chasm, Yi Qingtang felt like the world around her was spinning. But in the next second, both of her feet landed on solid ground. She had to spend some time recovering her senses before she started to survey her surroundings. What met her eyes was one that was totally unfamiliar. It was very dark, but she could still vaguely make out her surroundings. This is, Yi Qingtang gazed about. She felt warm all over. She thought that the deity ocean had sent her back to the mountain valley outside of the sealed space. But it now seemed like it was a totally different place. The climate here was completely different from the frozen ice fields that Yi Qingtang had experienced. Even the air in the mountain valley had been chilly and thick with the demonic aura. But over here, she could not feel anything that was exceptionally strange. Don't tell me I have left that mystic realm. Yi Qingtang murmured to herself. She started to feel a sense of joy, but was immediately struck by the thought that she had left little white tiger all alone by the cave at the eastern demon camp. She had left little white tiger in that demon-filled land. As well as the still unconscious little heavenly demon, you're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.